That was funny.
I've watched too many movies.
Robbie Bumper, baby bumpers. Robbie Bumper,
Yeah.
baby bumpers.
Last Action Hero. That's what that was.
Oh, I forgot about with Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
So good.
Great movie.
I
I don't know
love
how
that
that
movie.
movie bombed. It was wonderful.
It was so good.
But I think they didn't take it for what it was worth.
It's
or
him
for what it
making
was.
fun of himself
Yeah.
the whole movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
I loved it. I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, go home and watch
How
it
can
right
you
now.
not? How can that be a classic movie when you have a character called Leo Lafart? I mean,
That's funny. That's good. All right.
hi.
How's it going?
We have a guest today.
If you couldn't tell, we have another esteemed guest here,
Yeah.
Kristi, who we're going to go through her journey and her story, which is really interesting. She's a good friend of the store, Youngsters Central. If you, whatever supplement needs you need, come over and we'll get you hooked up. She owns and runs Lions Pub, Blue Lions Pub.
The Blue Lion.
Sorry, Blue Lion. And very interesting how that story has come about. So we'll get into that. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for
Welcome.
having me.
Yeah.
Welcome to the bar.
Yeah.
Welcome to the humble bar we call Wicked Ways.
Thanks.
Yeah. So we're starting off like we normally do with our delectable ghost, wonderful ghost energy drink. Green apple for me. Which one are you doing?
I'm doing the red,
The raspberry?
the Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Red.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're doing the orange dreamsicle.
Yeah,
Dreamsicle.
dreamsicle. Yeah.
Dreamsicle's a
Can't
good
go
one.
wrong with that one.
It's really good. It's one of my absolute favorite flavors ever since I was a kid. Like the popsicles.
Oh yeah, the
I'll
push
eat 'em-
pops.
No, the actual cream filled popsicle ones.
Oh, see, I'm a push up guy.
I like the push up pops too. But I go through. I'll eat those dreamsicles by the box. They're so good. They're awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you just got done with training today.
Yeah.
So
dude.
they both actually train at Texas Iron.
Yep.
Yeah. So how did your training go today?
You suck.
I do all the programming.
my legs, and it wasn't the yoke. It wasn't the Zercher squats felt fantastic.
Good.
They felt so good.
Yeah, I like that
I hadn't been under a bar in a while.
Yeah, I like that front loading for
Yeah.
you guys more right now. For what you're doing.
It was the seated good mornings.
Will mess you up.
Oh,
Are you doing the SSB bar?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And it's just about. I mean, we weren't doing anything heavy. It was. I think it was nothing heavy.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
like
my glutes just started to light up. I'm like, oh god, because right about the fifth rep, you're like, oh, this isn't that bad.
Yeah.
About 9, oh
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
10, oh god,
Yeah. And it's so hard not to round your back because your glutes just give out. You got to keep that back arched and straight to really. Oh, it'll mess you up, dude.
yeah, and.
I like Secret of Mornings. It's one of my favorites.
But what the worst part was, and this is no disrespect towards anybody, but there was a guy that was stretching right in front of us.
Oh, yeah.
And this dude has got to be the most limber man I've ever seen in my life. Where he had his foot up in the air and was just, he was doing this hip rotation, but I'm like,
Oh, wow.
this is the weirdest striptease I've ever been a part of.
Was it Grant?
I don't know the guy's name, but he had to have done either. He had to have been either in some sort of Brazilian jiu-jitsu or wrestling something in his past or current because...
Hold that.
It's all downhill after they turn 18 and then they get out.
I don't want to talk about
I
it.
got one that turns 20 next month.
That's wild. That's
I've
crazy.
got one graduating high school this year.
Nice.
And the other one just started high school.
My oldest
So it's
is
just
7. About to be 8. So you guys don't know.
No.
Y'all never been there.
No.
Wouldn't know.
Not these days. It's a completely different situation.
Yeah, man. God, childcare is so expensive. Fuck. Ugh. Anyway, so you're training. How did it go? How are you? Did you train today?
No,
Are you
I
training in the afternoons?
haven't got a chance to yet. I've been back and forth between the two gyms for a while. Tyler,
2 gyms?
between Legend and Texas
Oh, yeah,
Iron.
okay.
I live in Grogan's Mill, so Legend is a bit
Oh, okay.
closer.
Yeah.
And my Jeep kind of shit itself, so I've been Ubering to the one that's $5 away versus the one that's $25.
Ooh.
Good call.
But
Yeah.
I still maintain my membership with Texas Iron because to me that's one of my home gyms.
Right.
Love it there, and my coach is there.
Yeah.
So Tyler and I have put our training sessions on pause for a little bit. We had a conversation about it, and then it was mostly just an income thing. I'm in between pubs right now.
Yeah.
Right.
So my only source of income has been my pet sitting, and I can't
Yeah.
afford, to train Tyler. And then, he had to get ready for his powerlifting meet in Chicago, which he fucking crushed.
Yeah.
Wait, can we cuss on
My
this?
God.
Oh, we can.
Okay. Which he
I'm
crushed.
trying to do better, but we can.
But he and I had a short conversation about it, and I was like, don't hold my time slot open for me, and
Right.
Tyler's a wonderful coach, and he deserves to be
absolutely.
coaching people that are going to be competing, and that's not
Right.
going to be me.
Right.
And so we chatted about it, and I've been doing, I guess, more of a bodybuilding type split. Legs 3 days a week with some kind of HIIT workout on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then very active rest weekends.
Got it.
A lot of steps.
Yeah, good.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I did not train today.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, I got a boo-boo.
What'd you do?
We talk about this almost every episode. I'm really good at hurting myself.
Did it happen yesterday?
No. Wait, what's today? Today's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
No, it happened Monday. So not yesterday. So I did, we did a bit of a deload because of kind of the leg thing, right?
Right.
So we came back and I was like, dude, I'm so ready for deads. Like, let's go, right? So I did top set of doubles, which ended up being 515 for doubles.
Nice.
Which was nice. It felt good. Felt really
Yeah.
good. And then right into heavy rack pulls. So 2x2 at 585, which is what I think did it.
Yeah.
And then I did 405 RDLs. So sets of like 6.
So, let me ask you this. Did you feel it on the rack pulls?
Yes.
And what did you do?
I did RDLs because I really wanted to do them. But I was here. It's
Do as I say, not as I do.
Don't do that. I felt it. Okay. I don't think it's spinal. Every time I think he's spinal, I always think of Mike Tyson, or he's like, I broke my back. Spinal. You know what I'm talking about? He's in the ring. Anyway, so I did a little bit of rounding on that second set of 585. I didn't finish the rep. So it was supposed to be a 2x2. I did a 1x2, and then I did like a 1x0.5. I get half the rep, and I felt my back starting to round. I dropped.
Okay.
So I didn't push it, and I think it's muscular. It's not actually in the spine. I'm feeling much better today.
Good.
Yeah, so I was supposed to bench today. I did not.
Smart.
Yep. I was going to, and I didn't.
Good boy.
Yep, I'm doing better. I'm getting better. So my coach is he's helping. It's good. It's good. Reeling back.
That's good.
Yeah. So I didn't train today, and I feel antsy. I just want to train.
Yeah,
I just want to train.
I get it.
I just want to train.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did not. So good on you. That's awesome. You did really good today. He's been doing fantastic on his program.
But I missed my post-workout drink.
Ooh. Yep.
Because
you'll feel that later. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you got here, and we immediately kind of started.
But here's the thing. I pre-made it. I pre-made it. It was sitting in the car to take with me to drink on the way home.
I got it. Yeah.
So I go to take a drink. It just goes. Just solidified.
Oh, really?
Somehow.
Yeah.
So it's 5.5 ounces of blueberries, 5.8 ounces of pineapple, and 20 ounces of water because I can't fit anything else.
Well,
in
we
there.
needed 30. Remember, it was supposed to be 40,
but I can't fit anything in there.
so it's only 20.
So it's only 20.
Yeah, then you need.
That's
2.
why it's solidified.
Yeah, you gotta have enough water in there.
So as I take that first drink, it just goes, it literally makes that, like that cranberry sauce coming out of the can sound.
Yeah. So
like, oh God. So I'm sitting here at the light like this.
like
And it was
crap.
like, I just like, it just falls back and just, I look at the rearview mirror. I got blue all over my face. I'm sitting here wiping it off.
Violet, you're turning violet.
Yeah.
So you've got 2 options next time: more water, or bring a spoon.
Well, but here's the thing: is it didn't happen the first time. I don't know what happened.
Because you had more water the first time.
Oh, I know what it did. Is I prepped it the night before.
Oh,
That's why instead of doing it that morning.
Yeah, it could have.
So
yeah. No, it's good.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel it later today. I'm gonna be like so tired.
Yeah, well, it's you're doing a good job with the nutrition. So you're doing good. Your training's doing good.
Yeah,
That's
training's
awesome.
been good. It's It's a lot of fun. It was exhausting. Man, legs are exhausting today.
So I've got them doing him and Devin. You know Devin. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got him and Devin doing like kind of like functional strongman stuff, but with a powerlifting twist to it.
Yep.
And yeah, they seem to be enjoying it.
Yeah, heavy cardio or the weighted cardio is going to be Friday.
Be a good time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Really miss powerlifting.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore. I was at Legend and I was deadlifting. And I just went to go pull 155, which was about 30 pounds lighter than what my warm-up was. But I had already been dealing with piriformis issues on and off for years. And I just, started with 135. It went up like it was nothing. So I just went out and did a 20-pound jump.
Yeah.
Started kind of feeling it when I got up to here. And then I went ahead and pulled it all the way up anyway. And it felt like I was just wearing like a hip hugger belt of searing hot pain.
Yeah.
And I just slowly let the weight back down.
Yeah.
And the most painful part of that was I had to wait for the pain to stop bouncing up and down both my legs too.
Yep.
Was re-racking.
Yep.
And I didn't want to be that girl. It's like, oh, I hurt myself, so I can't re-rack. So I'm like,
you gotta hinge over. It's all hinge work.
Silently wincing and fighting back tears in Legend Barbell, like praying to God nobody notices what's wrong with me.
When was this? How long ago was this?
This was back in August.
Okay.
So
It's not too long
so
ago.
I haven't been under or been over a barbell since. It's all just been accessories since then.
I've got some really good piriformis stretching and piriformis stuff that I can show you. That's going to really help. But that sucks. I know that pain. That sucks.
It's also part of that. Like, it comes with the territory. Being a bartender, you're on your feet for long periods of time, and we all have that stance behind that bar. You kind of lean, you cock your...
Believe me.
I tell him to not do this all the time.
Yeah. If I'm standing behind the bar, that's the exact stance I'm in all the time.
Just your hip
The
cocked to
shift.
the side.
The hip shift. Yeah.
Yep.
Leaned over, talking to Joe Blow about insert arbitrary
Everything
topic
here,
here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Everything we talk about. In
Anything and everything under the sun.
Yeah.
No topic is off. No topic is off topic.
And I've been told by a lot of people that do, athletic massage, and so they're like, stop standing like that.
Yes.
Stand with your feet open, do the little leg kicks or hip, I don't know what you would call it. It's like a kind of a release with your legs. They keep telling me to do that. I'm like, when I'm behind the bar, that's not what I'm thinking about.
Correct.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've even worked with bartenders, and just the addition of adding a stool behind there, they can put their leg up on, and then they'll switch every now and then, makes a massive difference.
I don't allow them to have stools or chairs behind the bar because they'll sit on them.
Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, like a little step stool, not like a real stool, but like a little, just like a 1 foot little step stool. But just that little bit of elevation will help open up the hamstring and stuff. But yeah, I got some good piriformis stuff.
Use it.
I can put like a padded mat back here from when I got buddies that are hanging out. I'm usually this is my area. I'm the one that's back here. If y'all need anything, I'll get it.
Yeah, this is what he loves to do.
I love being back here. So I've got my mat here. I love this bar.
Yeah, it's cool. So tell her, she wanted to know about it. So tell her kind of a rundown.
Oh, okay. So this is actually supposed to be a bar that was actually going to be probably about that big. And it somehow morphed into this ginormous L-shaped bar. This was something that was going to be built by me and a couple of buddies, and anybody that helped. If you could see, there's initials engraved in the bar. So anybody that helped build the bar or do anything that involved making it, I had them initial the bar. And this was just something that I wanted to have where, guys can come over and have a couple drinks, just hang out, and just kind of, have my own little personal bar. It's pretty much it. I mean, this is a labor of love. I always loved being a bartender, and it's always a lot of fun, but
I love it. I love that you put the epoxy over because that's easier to clean.
Oh yeah. And but
some of it's not even dry yet. Some of it's not cured.
Well, this bar is
4 years.
Yeah, 3-4 years old.
It's 8 years old. It's 8 years old. You ask him, it's 8 years old.
Yeah, it's 8 years old.
We did something similar at the old pub because it used to just be wood on top, and the coat that we put on it over time, it starts to wear down, and the little creases that go down to the woods, they can start to hold bacteria.
Yeah.
So we just kind of sanded all that off a little bit, except for the logo, because we had something similar like this. We had our logo burned into the corner of the bar.
Nice.
And then we just put the epoxy all over all of that, and then we had to close for the whole night and most of the next day just to let it dry. But once we did that, though, it was just beautiful.
Yeah, I probably need to do that. Is just do another sanding, because you can see where there's kind of irregular spots in it, and
just a little bit. You can't really chuck somebody a beer across there.
Well, and from most of my friends who've drank at this bar, that's probably not a good idea anyway. They don't have the hand-eye coordination to catch a sliding beer.
Agreed.
Plus, I don't think you serve beer here. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
If you drink beer at this bar, you're bringing your own. You're drinking whiskey or something else. But
you got to bring your own whiskey too, because that's what's fun.
Sometimes.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Depends on how much you like them.
Yeah.
So how would you do that? Would you have to do like a wet sand on it and then like put another layer? Or?
No, it's just just sand it down, get a heavy grit, put a.
Oh really? No, that's it. Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
Yeah.
So one thing that you said a second ago, you said the old bar, which is interesting on her story. So let's get into that. So what, like, first of all, how long have you been in bartending? Like, when did the whole bartending thing start?
On and off since I was 19.
Yeah.
So, going on 22 years now behind the stick.
That's awesome.
I've had some, day walker jobs in my time period. I've been a loan officer. I was media buyer for an advertising company. I was a broker assistant for Vonda Nicalsi, a lady that bought 50 units out of the Mosaic at pre-construction back in the day, and I would go show homes for. I've worn a lot of different hats over the years, but the thing about the bar industry, and I think you'll agree with this, is that there's always a market for us, because as many, nutritionists, athletes, all over there will tell you alcohol's bad for you, don't drink alcohol. People turn 21 every single day, and there's always going to be a market for the bar industry, because the world's never going to stop drinking.
Yeah.
God, no.
No, it's always been a job I could always go back to with open arms. And then just over time, I got sick of doing day jobs, and I just really kind of dug my heels into it. And then I think in 2015, I got introduced to more of a high-end whiskey and craft cocktail side of it. And that, once it got its hooks in me, I was there.
It's fascinating. It's so cool. It's its own chemistry.
And then
absolutely.
After that, I spent time going on distillery tours, reading books, listening to podcasts, experimenting with my own. The Flavor Bible is my cheat book. We'll get into that in just a minute. But, and then in 2020, Wes and I had the opportunity to open the Blue Lion Pub, and, we did and went from there.
That's so nice.
And now we get to do Blue Lion 2.0.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So one real quick thing, you said something interesting, and I really want to make this clear, because I'm a nutritionist, right? I've been a nutritionist for 17 years or so, almost 18 years. Yes, your body treats alcohol as a poison, as a toxin. That doesn't mean that you can't enjoy a cocktail. That doesn't mean that you can't enjoy a drink, right? One drink, especially like our size, like if you're 200 pounds, like three to five drinks probably is okay. Well, you're going to get a little drunk, but it's okay to enjoy. There are lots of things that you consume. I'm sure all of you, and I'm sure you guys too, have seen stuff on Instagram where they're like, oh, kale is poison, you shouldn't eat kale. Yes, there's toxins in everything you consume. Yes, that's true. That doesn't mean that it's going to hurt you. It's not. Live your life. I enjoy whiskey. I enjoy beer. Do I consume copious amounts of it? No. I enjoy it for what it is, and then I move forward. I move on. Right. 85, 90% of my day, my nutrition's perfect. I'm going to enjoy a drink, and that's okay. So go, live your life. That's fine. Just don't get plastered all the time. No, it doesn't do anything for you.
That's how
enjoy in moderation.
Yeah.
And so, agreed. There will always be the bar industry. There will always be a need for it, because it's not just about the alcohol. No, it's the camaraderie and community behind it. It's just like the gym.
Yeah.
There's a camaraderie. There's something about going into your local pub, and like if I go into Blue Lion and I see Kristi's, but hey Andrew, how's it going? Come on over here. Like.
Yeah, there's always going to be that
world.
There's always going to be those group of people that are the ones that are keeping the lights on to the place.
Yeah,
and we love them.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing about what to me separates a pub from a bar.
Right.
Oh, good call. Yeah.
UK culture. The pub is it's not loud screaming bass music. It's not bright shining lights. It's not people dressed to the nines. It's you get to go to a place, you get to hear the conversation you're having in a kind of a dimly lit cave, so to speak. Be able to glance at a game here and there, eat good food, and just relax with your buddies.
Yeah.
And I would say that a pub atmosphere is a little bit more family friendly until about a certain time of the night, because the pub, a pub does serve food.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where we come in. Not only are we serving food, but we're going in balls deep into brunch.
Right.
That's so
nice.
cool. I love
Something that we didn't do at the last place. So we are, Millie and Travis, who are actually the owners of this one now. I'm not the owner at this location.
Oh, okay.
I was a partner at the first one.
Yeah.
And now in this one, I'm just the beverage director. So
Okay.
I got to take everything that I've learned in 22 years in the bar industry and concentrate it on this concept.
Instead of running the business.
Instead of running the business, I
Okay.
have one small designated area.
And that's
my-
what you want to do. That's where you want to be.
I've been over the moon about it the whole time.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
But Millie and Travis came in, and we bought the breakfast place in Sterling Ridge, and it had the Highlander pub attached to it.
Okay.
And Millie is used the word, and I think it's the cutest thing I've ever heard. She's like, so one side is a brunchery.
A brunchery. I like that.
So it's like a
Nice.
scratch kitchen brunch
Yeah.
with, we have a lady that comes in, and her only job there is to hand make the pastries and bagels and all of that.
Love
And
it.
then we'll have to-go coffee, which I think is going to make the people at the Metro parking right across the street very happy, because you have an actual to-go coffee shop right by where you're parking your car.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the other side
Smart.
is pub side. There's a wall that separates it with beautiful sliding barn doors. We've got a hidden dart room. Got so much room for liquor.
Oh,
So
cool.
much room for whiskey. I'm like getting like a little kid. I was like, you won't believe the stuff that I'm ordering.
I can't wait to come by.
Yeah.
We're gonna do another episode of the Bearcast, so we're actually gonna come out and do a full episode of the bar. I'm really excited about that
that's
because
gonna be fun.
that's gonna just showcase your heart.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun.
And I get to pull them out of their comfort zone away from American whiskey and take them over to Scotland. For a little bit.
That's awesome. I love it. Cool. So, are you doing the Delta beverage and stuff side for the brunchery stuff too as well,
I'll
or
have
just the bar?
I have a little bit of a hand in the beverage program for that,
Okay.
because this beverage program, I get to put all of my love into it. So I'm doing, I guess you would call it scratch bartending, where all of the prep is handmade by me. There's going to be a lot of juicing. I take a lot of pride in my agua frescas that I
Okay.
do for the pub, and having a non-alcoholic option to me was just as important as having alcoholic options.
Right.
That's like also high quality craft made. Like that's super important. Yes.
Well, I mean, for the mocktails, I didn't want to just throw a bunch of juices together and give it a silly name. Like, I really wanted to put some effort to it, because there's a lot of people that, still like to go out and
Right.
hang out like me, but don't imbibe. So I don't want to sit here and just hold a club soda with a lime. And so I started putting a lot of thought into pressed juices and combining botanicals and
cool.
finding
That's so
low-calorie sweeteners to
Okay.
throw in there, and not just
Nice.
adding club soda. Like
Right.
finding different sparkling seltzers. La Croix might be a big part of my summer mocktail beverage program.
Okay.
Oh,
That is so cool. Are you doing? So we had a conversation about this. I don't remember what episode, but we were talking about syrups.
Yeah.
Like making your own syrups for the
yeah.
drinks. Are you all going to be doing that?
I am. Yeah. I
That's
will-
so cool.
Okay.
I love that. Like, because you can do all kinds of these crazy
yeah.
infusions and stuff. That's badass.
I have a couple in particular that I'm really proud of my shrub that I made. I actually had to change this recipe on the fly because Specs no longer carried a particular product I was going to do for this cocktail. So I changed the cordial that was going to go into it. I was
Okay.
like, well, I need to change the shrub now. So I took a whole pineapple, cubed it up, added white wine vinegar and some water, and then coconut sugar with basil. And anything that any sweetener that's vinegar based is no longer a syrup; it's a shrub.
Okay.
Oh.
Shrubs are lovely, and if we ever get a chance to go into the science of those that
Yes,
are being
please.
conducive to your health,
Take the time now. This is
Yeah.
fascinating. Please. This is so interesting.
Shrubs are just a little bit better for you. I mean, there's never, sweeteners and alcohol in abundance are already going to be bad for you. So it's
Right.
good to just kind of cut out as much of it as you can.
Okay.
Right.
So by adding the benefits of ingesting vinegar
Yeah.
and all that. So just throwing a shrub in there with a natural sugar like coconut sugar.
Yeah.
and then a natural fruit and all that. Not only does it make a well-rounded cocktail, but it really helps move that through a little quicker.
I love that. That is, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, I have 4 different seasonal shrubs already planned out, and this is going to be the first one. And I'm proud of the cocktail that it's going into. I don't know if you've ever heard the story about the Gosling family and the Dark and Stormy cocktail.
No, but I'd like to hear about it.
So the Gosling family actually trademarked the recipe for the Dark and Stormy. And when you make a Dark and Stormy, you're supposed to use Gosling Blackstrap rum.
Okay.
They have trademarked that recipe.
You have some?
I think I do.
So
It's got a little seal on the front of it.
Kraken Rum actually got sued by them because they created a cocktail called the Kraken Storm, but they used the exact recipe. They just used their rum instead.
Okay.
So
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
made
I like Kraken Rum too.
I call it an unlit and inclement weather.
Nice. I like that.
And it's not a recipe for a Dark and Stormy. Yes, it does have lime juice, but I've also added the Noi Coco cordial to it, which it was initially supposed to be a Banana de Brazil, which is a Brazilian banana cordial.
Okay.
And I had to change the recipe on the fly because our distributor no longer carries Gifford products, so I had to switch it over. And then that's when the shrub came into play and the ginger beer. So yes, I am adding an aged rum, but I added a completely new cordial to it, and I added a sweetener. So it's not their recipe.
I was gonna say that too, because you were talking like the Brazilian banana and stuff. It's interesting. Everything you're talking about are infusions of these flavors that are not sweet. It's you're taking the essence of the flavor and you're manually adjusting the sweetness to it on your like yourself versus everyone else, right? They're just loading it in, and then you end up with this cocktail that's just like overpoweringly sweet. The notes are there, but it's so overpoweringly sweet. I love the fact that you're controlling the sweetness so closely.
But a balanced cocktail. It's really where it's
because I like the fruity notes, but I don't like the overwhelming sweetness of it sometimes. I just kind of like
you want to enjoy the flavor of the spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the sugar just completely covers it up.
And I think that's the whole point of a good cocktail is whatever spirit you use, you want to enhance that spirit. You want to feature it. So for this one in particular, I use the Plantation Pineapple aged rum. So the whole cocktail itself is just a healthy balance of pineapple, coconut, bitter lime, and then spice from ginger beer. Okay. Along with that little bit of bitter tang you get on the tongue from the pineapple basil vinegar shrub.
Okay.
Yeah. But the bar program this time, a lot of cocktail bars are changing the way we do things. So you're not going to see too many bars do those 5, 6, 7 step craft cocktails anymore where you're waiting forever for a drink to be built in front of you. It's more, I would say, streamlined. Some of it would be pre-batch, but it's more very simple, very to the point ingredients, but the ingredients themselves are more interesting.
That's so interesting that you said that, because I feel like it was such a long road and such like it has evolved so much into those multi-tiered steps. Like the entire industry was going that direction, and it was like getting more and more and more extravagant, I guess is the right word. And it's funny to hear you say that now. It's like almost reached a peak, and it's going the other way now.
Well, I think it's because people are starting to really show more love to cocktails again. Yeah. You know, it goes up and down and spikes and all that. And for a while, like, people will just go to, no, I just want vodka soda. Like, vodka overshadowed American whiskey for such a long time. And I love that whiskey's getting the love and recognition it finally deserved for the past 20 years.
Yes.
But craft cocktails really go up and down, and sometimes it just got to a point where, like, how can I outdo everybody else? How can I create something so extravagant that nobody can do it? And then it's like a lot of us just took a step back and said, we are overcomplicating something that should be simple and still a joyful experience for the guest.
Yeah.
And it also, I think, having multi-step cocktails like that created what I would call a snarky bartender.
Yes, thank you. And that's it's like the what are they called with the beards and the hipsters, like the hipster bartenders.
The mixologists.
I hate that.
I hate that word.
God, there was a place in Midtown that I used to go to when I was a financial advisor, and
that's your first mistake right there. Is you went to Midtown.
Well, it was
I worked in Midtown.
It was I worked in Midtown. I was a bouncer in Midtown for a while. There was this one place I went to. I can't remember the name of it now, but I would go with my buddy when I was a financial advisor. He also worked there, and he was actually like trained as a sommelier and like super interesting guy. And like he took me to this place, and it was like, man, it was 20 or 30 minutes waiting for our drinks, and the bartenders were not just sitting around, like they were working, they were going, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like this is too much. And then you get the drink, and I'm like, it's good, but it wasn't worth 30-minute wait and the the $18 price tag that came with it.
You have to place your order for the next drink when you get your first.
Yeah, it's wild.
And that's I always sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
I always found that style of bartending. I found it to be very artistic. I'm not gonna lie, and there's still a lot of bars in downtown Houston that were the first ones to do it, and they still do it, but you go to that concept for that. I think Anvil is a great example.
Right.
I'm a huge admirer of Bobby Hugels, and I think Anvil Bar is just one of the most beautiful craft cocktail bars in the city. But they're also very dedicated to that craft, and they have multiple people back there. And the knowledge their staff have is just overwhelming, like beyond me. Like they're absolutely dedicated to the art of it. But that is the concept you go to for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing to the point where I require that. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean,
I'm not at that level.
That kind of place, you're going for an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
That's very much.
Yeah,
so
I guess I just don't value it at that price tag. If it's always a cost benefit.
Well, I mean, there are those who are going there for that experience, and then
and they get something out of it, right?
Yeah.
They get something out of it, and then there are those of us who are a bit more simpleton, and I'm just like, look, I just want to have a great tasting old fashioned and want to hang out with my buddies.
Yeah.
And that's where we found that good balance. We always had the mantra at the Blue Lion Pubs that we want to be refined without being pretentious. So that's where the
Love that. Yes.
streamlining craft cocktails comes in. So we had the ones that everybody's familiar with. We have 2 different old fashions that will change with every season, including the whiskey. You know, you're going to have your French 75. We have an espresso and a Mexpresso martini. You know, I really wanted to. I created a couple of brand new cocktails, but then I also just took some that everybody was familiar with, and I just change the ingredients just a little bit. So instead of your plain simple for the old fashioned, I have a clarified orange syrup for the rye, and that takes quite a long time to make.
Nice.
But
that sounds good.
Again, we wanted everybody to be able to come in and enjoy the same great cocktails that you could downtown. We just wanted you to be able to be comfortable while you're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and we also didn't want to turn our nose up to the poor guy that just wants a Bud Light.
Yeah.
You know, there's always going to be that guy that's like, hey, that sounds cool, but that's not for me.
Yeah.
And I've worked with, getting back to the snarky bartenders, I've worked with one guy in particular whose name I won't mention, but, that somebody would say, hey, I just want to get a vodka and soda. No, that's not what you want. Let me take you on a journey.
Yeah, dude, don't say that shit to me. I know what I want. I'm the customer. I know what I want.
Yeah. And, and then there's the bartenders that turn their nose up at the guy who has the money and wants to get a high-end tequila and put it in a margarita. And they're like, well, no, that's a sipping tequila. I'm like, no, they're paying for it. I'll put 6 or 7 cherries in there if you want to. I don't give a shit. You're paying for it.
Yeah, right. No. Charge $1 a cherry.
No. $57 drink with cherry juice in it.
Yeah. He doesn't care.
I don't care.
If you got the money to pay for it, and you're gonna tip.
Perfect.
Go for it.
Go for the tip. Also, go for the tip. Be nice.
Tip. For the love of God, tip.
Tip your freaking bartenders.
Tip your bartenders.
Oh, please.
Yeah. But it goes back to the same something we talk about all the time. Just be nice. Just be nice. Like it's not. It costs you nothing. Just be nice.
I can't stress this enough. Don't do I'll catch you at the end. Tip right then and there. Mm-hmm. Tip then and there. Every time you get a drink, just tip. Sorry.
See, I don't normally do that.
I'll get you.
I always have a great comeback line for that when they tell me that. They're like, "Oh, I'll tip you at the end." I'll be like, "Oh, this is the end."
Yeah.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Nice.
So, but here's what I always open a tab. I never have cash on me. Mm-hmm. So when I sometimes I tip too much, and I know I do that. But I've also worked in the bar industry, so I know tip your people. But I'll always tip at the end.
Yeah.
But only when I close it.
I mean, it's one thing when you're paying if you've got a tab.
Yeah.
But when somebody's paying cash.
Yeah, tip right then. You absolutely should.
Don't go, I'll catch you at the end.
Yeah. Especially when they're making you a drink. And I don't think you should tip 50% when somebody's popping a Bud Light. Sorry, I don't think you should. If they're making you a drink, tip your ass off.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a...
Over
it's a
time,
beer,
after
I
their
just
6
throw
or
a
7th Bud Light,
$1.
they start tipping 50% anyway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
It's a long game I like to play.
I do. God, I tip. I'm
Pop open a bottle of mead and you're already doing it.
It's so bad. The money went flying that day. We had so much fun. We had so much fun at Red Fair. That was a good time.
That was a good time.
That was a blast, man. We had a good time. Super sore though. You were at Red Fair too, don't you?
I haven't been in quite a long time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. For some reason, I thought I saw a picture of you doing it.
I'm actually sort of lazy about traveling up. I have to park so far away and walk the length of 4 or 5 football fields. I really don't want to go.
And see, there are some things that I don't mind paying a little extra for, and valet parking is worth it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we get handicap parking.
Well, yeah, it's because you're broken all the time. That's why.
Yeah, whatever.
My spine.
They don't have to know that I'm deadlifting in the 5s.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's good.
So, what would you say your specialty cocktail is? You yourself.
Oh, for her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so many different ones.
I would love to hear.
Yeah, like one that I've created personally or one that's already currently existing?
Both. Give me one of each.
Okay, so there's one that I personally created that I created it back in 2019 at the old Highlander pub, and I've never had to change the recipe, and everybody just loves it. And it's made with Empress 1908 gin. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I have.
Yeah, it's an elderflower, butterfly tea flower infused gin, also known as the clitoria flower, but, most men can't find that.
Only if it's right there on the shelf. I need a woman to help me find it. It's got to be right in front of me.
But it's such a simple cocktail. It's just that gin with some fresh lemon juice, and then I made a rosé rosemary simple syrup.
Oh, wow, okay.
And it came out delicious with about 4 dashes of rhubarb bitters. And it's just shaken for about 15 seconds to get the right amount of dilution, and then fine strain because I hate ice chips in a martini. I think it's
agreed.
It's absolutely offensive, and it adds extra dilution that you. Now, if they ask for ice on the pond, give it to them.
Right.
But extra ice just.
I've never had anybody ask or heard anybody say that.
It's a
really that's a common thing.
Yeah, dirty martini. It's sometimes.
I came from a hole in the wall bar, so that's
I hate when there's ice. And
I think it just for one, it makes the drink look bad. You're swallowing ice chips. It's adding extra dilution, which takes away flavor from the cocktail. But this one's fine strained into a glass that's already had a Dolin Blanc rinse. So the flavor profile of this.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Dolin Blanc is a dry vermouth.
Okay.
And a rinse of the glass is you pour it in the glass, you twirl it around, you dump it.
Okay, got it.
It's the equivalent of when somebody orders a martini dry. You swirl it around the glass, you discard it into your bucket. So it's that, and it's usually garnished with, we were doing edible orchids in the garnish for a while, but those became harder to get, so we just switched to a rosemary stem. Clipped on the side of the glass. And the flavor profile of it is not sweet, which I think a lot of people love. It's very dry with a slight hint of sweetness from the simple with floral notes to it.
Okay. See, this is what I was talking about before. Something like that I would love. I really like gin. I love and I was talking about it before, and I said those exact same words. It's like it's so dry that it's refreshing.
Yeah,
I love that, and I like the floralness of the gin. He hates gin. I do.
I don't hate gin. I've got.
Yeah, hate's a strong word.
It's not for everybody. I mean,
it's a little too dry for me.
I like it.
See, I love gin. That's another nickname for bartenders too. We're gin jockeys.
Yeah.
And I like certain kinds of gin. I'm a huge fan of Navy strength gins. Plymouth gin makes it. It's a higher proof gin.
Oh, okay.
And we actually have a cocktail named after Wes called the Cordova, and it's essentially a Martinez with a few more ingredients added to it. And Wesley was in the Navy for 9 years, so obviously I've got to use a Navy strength gin for Wesley.
Of course.
But there's that one, and then the old fashioned is always one of my favorite go-to. Well, it's my second favorite go-to whiskey cocktails because some people, you know it at the bar, make me something good with whiskey.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, if it's a girl, she gets a whiskey smash. If it's a guy, he gets an old fashioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all three.
Or give them a Manhattan and see how they react.
Well. Some people that don't like sweet drinks love Manhattans. And I pride myself on a good Manhattan.
Oh, and what cracks me up though is one, one, the glass that they're drinking it out of, they're like, what is
Can
this?
I get a man glass?
Yeah. It's
What?
It's a martini glass. Dude,
Martini
calm
glass.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, guarantee
James
you,
Bond
that
drank
will-
out of a martini
it's like,
glass.
that'll knock you on your ass faster than most drinks will, so go ahead.
My flower with 5 different edible flowers on it is going to knock you on your ass quicker than that Bud Light will.
Oh, that's good. I'm
But-
willing to try that.
Yeah, man.
I'm willing to get knocked on my ass, so it's fine by me.
I don't know if
So
I can
interesting.
carry you. I don't think Tyler's gonna tell me. Tyler's gonna tell me I'm not there to lift that heavy.
No. That's why I'll bring him
just
with me.
lights up. Oh!
No, nope. Just drop me now.
Hey, I pulled my piriformis again.
I'm on my way.
You know who Corey is, right?
I'm at work.
That's so good. That's funny. Yeah, same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Old fashions all the way. Like,
I love a good old fashioned.
Good old fashioned only takes 30 seconds to make, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be surprised how many people just are so adamant on making it wrong, and they argue with it. And they're like, no, it's the pre-prohibition way and the post-prohibition way. And I was like, no,
whatever.
that's not even how that came about. I actually did a whole cocktail class on the old fashioned with some guests, and they loved it.
That's so cool.
We did the history of the old fashioned, and it's such a great story.
Yeah.
Although you don't know how much of it is true, but why let the truth get in the way of a good story?
Yeah, right? Exactly.
It wasn't always called the old fashioned though. It used to just be called the cocktail.
Yeah.
And you can find recipes for the cocktail that predates this country.
Oh, wow.
Like all the
Wow.
way back to the 1600s.
Okay.
Wow.
And over time, that's just what it was called. It was called the cocktail. And it wasn't always American whiskey. Some people used tequila in it. Some people used rum. But it was always just called the cocktail.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, alcohol became illegal in the United States. So,
Right.
as we all know, a lot of bartenders took their craft over to the UK and
Right.
Italy and to Spain. And then they got introduced to things like absinthe and cordials and Galliano and all these different flavors. So they started making different variations of the cocktail. And then, of course, alcohol came back to America as God intended. And this is where you don't know if it's true or not, but I want to believe it because I think it's great. And how the cocktail got its name is apparently this old Kentucky distiller bellied up to the bar and it's like, I want the cocktail, but I don't want any of that fruity stuff. I want it the old way.
Nice. I like
And
that.
that's kind of one of the ways it got its name. But there's no pre and post prohibition. And I actually have a cocktail recipe book from 1939. It's an antique.
That's
Oh,
so
wow.
cool.
And it has the recipe for the old fashioned, and it actually still calls for a lump of sugar and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
with water. So that's technically the traditional way to make an
Yes.
old fashioned, but we've removed the water and the granulated sugar by stirring and adding simple syrup.
Correct.
And,
Yeah.
We've had that.
you know,
conversation.
spirit,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
sugar, bitters, and water technically.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like I said, that comes from the
The
stirring. But
syrup,
it's simple cocktail, 30 minutes to make. You don't need to
Have to
muddle the
muddle.
flesh of an arm. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
You know, and
Oh, it irritates the hell out of me when I see like muddled fruit in,
Yeah.
in an old fashioned.
Yeah.
It's like, what is
So
this?
funny.
well, the muddled fruit.
I've had them where they like muddle the cherries and everything in it. And I'm like, what is this?
Well, oddly enough, the muddled fruit is a variation of the cocktail, but
Oh.
it's not called an old fashioned. It's called a cobbler.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay.
And then there's the brandy old fashioned, which is a popular cocktail in Wisconsin, which calls for muddled fruit and crushed ice and club soda, and it's a delicious drink. But these, like I said, it's funny when you think about all these classic cocktails. And we're all just piling onto that, and
Correct,
making
yeah, yeah,
variations. But
right.
the old fashioned, the cocktail is always and forever just going to be the cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing as whiskey itself. Like it's like whiskey's whiskey, and then all of a sudden there's like it's just variation upon variation, different flavors and all this different kinds of stuff. So yeah, no, that's super interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know. So we've had the conversation before where it's like, and I've talked to, I call them purists, right? It's like, oh, you have to muddle, you got to muddle,
No, you don't.
got to muddle sugar, and I'm like, bro, it's the same. It's no different, right? And I think with the simple syrup, especially if like you have infused syrups, like you can make it so much more interesting. Absolutely, do that. But if you're a purist and that's what you want to do, and you have to have it that way, muddle your heart.
Do what you-
muddle to your
yeah.
heart's content. Whatever.
You
But
can
it's
muddle,
not
but
any different.
remember, that's not an old fashioned, that's a cobbler.
Yes, good. Yes. Yeah, I had one where it was like they muddled the cherries all up, and it was like bits of cherry, and it was like in the drink. I'm like, it was weird.
Oh, yeah.
It like added texture that wasn't supposed to be. You know what I mean? It was weird. It was
Comes out like a neon color.
so strange.
I had a gentleman request that at the bar one time. He wanted the Luxardos. Not just the red maraschino. He wanted the filthy cherries. And he was like, I like it that way. So if you could just muddle 2 Luxardos and the orange and do extra simple syrup and a pour of this whiskey. And I was like, you're paying for it. But the whole time I was doing that, I was so nervous that somebody was going to walk in and catch me.
Yeah. What are you doing, Kristi? Stop!
And then they were going to be like, well, I don't want to order an old fashioned from her. She doesn't know how to make it.
Oh, man.
I guarantee nobody's thinking.
Oh, it sounds so sweet.
So embarrassed.
Yeah, whatever. Muddle your heart's away. You want to muddle away.
I mean, yeah, when it comes to, just like a whiskey, or just like cigars, whatever, in the end, you like what you like. It's your choice. Your money, you do what you want.
Yeah.
But when it comes to my drink, God, don't muddle fruit in it, please.
Yeah.
No.
So with the old fashioned, and Corey and I are kind of both in agreement. We both like a very simple whiskey, like a Bullet or Maker's Mark or something very simple. Do you? I mean, and you're obviously know so much more than we do.
More knowledgeable.
Is it actually better to have different kinds of whiskeys in there? Because we both kind of feel like if you put too much, like too good of a whiskey, quote unquote, right? The other stuff takes away from it.
I would say, yeah, but I always found a way to finish. I would always suggest this to the guests too. If they wanted an old fashioned with a higher end whiskey, because our go to on the menu is usually Bullet. I think Bullet and Bullet Rye.
That's our go to for old fashioned.
Are very well rounded for the two. They've got a great price point. They make a decent old fashioned.
Yeah.
I would say they make a more than exceptional old fashioned.
Agreed.
When people want a higher end whiskey in their old fashioned, I always suggest, hey, would you like me to do half the amount of syrup and half the amount of bitters that I normally would, so I don't take away from the whiskey.
Okay.
And a lot of people are more open for that, and I usually will do that with rye whiskey in particular. I'll suggest that right away, just because when people order a rye old fashioned, they want that rye.
You
burn.
want, you want
So
that burn. Yeah.
I try not to take away. As somebody who's more partial to rye than I am to bourbon, I don't like to take away from it.
Okay.
Well, see,
that's awesome. What a good answer.
That's nice to hear, because you don't get that kind of service or consideration.
Yeah.
When it
knowledge,
comes to
even
a lot of people,
because people
place, or one making your drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that being said, I mean, it all depends on where you're going to, because I mean, there's been steakhouses where I've had a fantastic old fashioned. There's been steakhouses where it's muddled cherries, muddled orange. So
I've never had a good old fashioned at a steakhouse. Ever.
Really?
Yep. It's always been mediocre at best.
Do you remember Cullen's and Clear Lake?
Yes.
And do you remember they shut down? So Cullen's actually had one of the most beautiful whiskey selections
really?
I'd ever seen. They had Locked in Cages. They had the Buffalo Trace Experimentals. They had stuff that a lot of bars can't get. But you could tell their bartenders had no love. And I was there with a buddy of mine, Sean Fife, and he got an Angel's Envy Rye Old Fashioned, and I just got a Bullet Rye Old Fashioned. And you're talking to 2 cocktail bartenders from downtown.
Yeah.
And we're watching this bartender not stir. He's rolling our old fashions with muddled cherries in there. And Sean's, you'd think somebody just punched his mother in the face, like the face he was making.
Yeah.
But I had already paid for these, and I had been watching the bartender pour the entire time. And Sean was about to say something. I said, no, just go wait outside. And then I grabbed the drinks, and I was like, hey, could I just get a shot glass of simple syrup? And then I grabbed a couple of the little bar stores, and I grabbed a couple of paper napkins, and I walked outside, and I was like, I don't know if you realize, but this dude just gave us 6-ounce pours for $10 a piece. So we're not challenging the recipe. We're just going to fix it at the table.
There you go.
Good God.
And now I kind of think I know why they closed.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
But I'm sitting there like I'm doing surgery on this old fashioned with the bar stirrers, like chopsticks, fishing
exactly.
the maraschinos, and then taking the syrup and stirring them and getting the right dilution. I was like, we just paid $20 for 6-ounce pours. This was so illegal. But we're not sending this back. I was like, this is our nightcap right here. We don't have to have a second one now.
That's nuts, man. Yeah, no wonder they shut down. Good Lord. Giving to you at cost, essentially.
Have you been to Refuge yet? In Creekside?
I haven't been to the Creekside location. I've been to the Waterway location.
I think that one's gone. I think that one's shut down.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, they had such a beautiful selection, and I love the old bar ladder.
Yeah, and they had that over at the Creekside location, and their whiskey selection is incredible. I mean, it's just beautiful. Yeah, and they've got that old school ladder. They have I think it's the general manager, Luis, who he'll do his own blends where he'll do like the Thin Mint Girl Scout cookie flavored whiskey, and he's got one that he calls apple pie, and
cool.
yeah. In fact, that one right there is that Thin Mint.
Oh, is that what this one is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
I was able to
pretty
get from
cool.
him. Yeah,
That is cool.
It's actually pretty good. It tastes just like a Thin Mint.
That's
Girl
interesting.
Scout cookie. But they have a beautiful whiskey selection there.
I think places like that. I was actually really happy to see Federal Grill
Yes.
come to town. I used to work for him back in the day. I don't know if he still owns Revolver on Washington, but Matt
okay.
used to be my boss back in the day. And Federal Grill is always good. Matt and his wife are lovely, lovely people, and he's always been pretty good about his whiskey selection. And I'm a little jealous of places like Refuge and Federal Grill and Whiskey Cake and Fieldings, because they've been established for so long that they can get certain spirits that I can't get yet.
It's just with the relationships they've built over the years, or
well,
what?
they're what Specs would consider a higher end account, and
Yeah.
I haven't been established none of that. Now, I hopefully I can get to some smaller wholesalers that'll personally order.
Yeah,
Things like Blanton's and Midwinter Nightstrand and Baker's 13, like things I won't be able to get from Specs right away.
Yeah.
Because next season I'd like to get my hands on the Pappy line. I'd like to be established enough for
Happy
that.
line.
Oh, Pappy Van Winkle?
23-year.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
That is hard to get.
I don't know what I'm doing. So these guys, it's nice to surround yourself with people who do know.
Blends can be difficult. I found it's not unobtainable for me if I order through a smaller wholesaler.
Yeah. In fact, when we were in Fest, they had Blanton's just sitting there.
Yeah.
I mean, there was, what was it, $25 a shot?
It was something like that.
Yeah. But I was surprised that they had it there.
Yeah. It was
shocking.
I was top shelf though.
Yeah. Well, there was something else that was there that was.
There were some really good ones.
There was something else that was there, and I didn't catch the name of this.
Man, I'm kind of like
a bottle.
I was
or a shot.
I was a little too wasted to fully enjoy that flight.
Well,
I wish I would have it, because some of them, like, I knew the notes that I was getting.
Yeah.
But the mead covered up some. Especially, I was drinking this like rich berry mead, and it covered up a lot of those notes from the Scotch.
Your taste buds were coated.
Yeah, they were shot. But that mead though, wow, good as mead. That mead was great. That was awesome.
I think that's one thing though they tell you don't mix too much too, because your palate will become saturated over time.
Yeah, and we talked about that too. Even when we had that flight, he even said we both said, we're like, man, I wish I had some, like a little espresso shot or just even some beans or something, just to
just kind of cleanse the palate and just.
It was I was coated.
Pickles, ginger, anything.
I actually enjoyed the flight.
Yeah, I enjoyed 2 of the 4, but again, I think I would have enjoyed 3 of the 4 had my palate not been all screwed up. But there was one that I can't remember which one it was now, but there was one that I was just like, this is not good.
It was the last one that you didn't like.
I don't remember. Yeah, probably.
It was the last one, because the first,
so fucked up.
the Tom and Toll you enjoyed.
Yeah.
There was one that you enjoyed at first, and I can't remember the name of it. Good Lord.
There was one that I think it started with an R.
You really liked it for the Rowan Bow?
I don't remember, but it stayed in the cheeks really well. It was beautiful.
But then you said right at the end, you didn't like it.
Oh, it was that same one?
Yeah, it was the same one. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, of course not.
I don't remember.
Damn you, mead.
Not damn you. That was a good time. I was fine with it. What's so funny is that, like, I process alcohol so fast. Like, I sobered up and then I had a hangover within an hour, and then I woke up and I was like, okay, let's go. Like
puke and rally.
No puke and rally. No puke and rally.
No puking, nothing. Everything was fine. Like it was a couple of hours. And I was like,
we were there for a long time.
Yeah, we were all day.
It was a couple hours. Your body just processed alcohol. And went through the hangover, and then you were just like,
well, he had the headache. He was like, you're probably gonna headache. I'm like, well, yeah, you just drank a whole bunch of sugar.
Yeah. And it was so hot.
Oh,
we were pretty dehydrated.
Yeah. And then you got another thing of mead.
Yeah. I was thirsty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what else?
And then he was like, bro, I'm fucked up.
I looked at him and was like, I'm so fucked up right now. He's like, you don't say.
You didn't get a turkey leg in between?
Well, I did.
He did. So, but the second go around, I sat him down. I said, sit here, be right back. I got this It looked like a grilled chicken burger.
Oh yeah,
but it was
cheese.
But it was like a fried
It
mozzarella.
was a giant mozzarella patty. It was so good.
It was deep fried
God.
provolone
Really good.
on a bun with fries. And
I felt so much better after eating that.
here. He's like, oh, a burger. He takes one. He's like, just cheese. He's like, oh my god, bro! It's just a string of cheese. It's like, yeah, I know.
Like, I would have made that better if you had like some mozzarella or marinara or ranch
yeah,
to dip
something.
it in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Would've
my
been so
god,
good.
ranch
So good.
in that.
Oh man, I would have thrown that
Cheese
up.
sticks
though.
with
I'm glad
ranch
it
is
was- I'm glad it was all
so
it's all-
underrated. They always go for marinara. I'm like, have you ever had it with ranch?
Yeah, dude.
See, I'm one of those people who doesn't do ranch.
I like ranch.
Really?
I
Oh, yeah.
like ranch, but I like I don't really like Hidden Valley. Like I like real even like homemade ranch. I love that.
Yeah,
I like ranch on certain things. Wings are. I go to blue cheese, and everybody thinks I'm great. I'm gross for that.
well, I
It
mean,
depends
I
on the
don't
wing.
think so. I mean, because
With buffalo,
a lot of people.
with buffalo, I agree. But like anything else, I like the ranch.
Well, when wing sauces, I like to taste the sauce I'm getting, so I don't want to submerge it into a dip. I think that defeats the purpose of getting like a mango habanero. I was like, what's the point of getting that if you
Yeah,
just submerge it
I
in
can feel
dairy?
that. Yeah.
Like,
I
Yeah.
could feel that. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Do you like wings or I mean, do you like
Traditional or boneless?
no flappers or drumsticks? Which one?
both.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm
I'm a
not picky.
drumstick
Yeah.
I'm flappers, man. Give me the flappers.
Well, I mean, the flappers are easy. You just rip out one bone, just go.
yeah.
boom,
Well, you just
done.
twist it, pull it, and
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I can kill me some flappers.
Yeah.
I like flappers.
I can tell you on
Sounds
any
good.
date I've gone to where he's like, oh, well, let's do a wing night. I'm like, look, this is not a food where I look pretty eating. I might as well squat on the table like a chicken hawk because I'm tearing into these. And you're
Men
just,
love that.
You know, but seeing that, I'm sure most guys are just like, great, let's go.
She's the one.
Yeah,
She's the one.
done and done.
Yes.
there's my wife right there.
I love
So I
it
just
so
that's
much.
where I just proposed right then and there.
I hate but at the same time, like I hate the women that like get the wing. Like it's like, nah, man, fucking eat the thing.
Nah,
Let's
I
go.
put the whole thing in my mouth.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Oh.
that whole
Oh, I bet
conversation
you
is
do.
like, oh,
Well, what's your favorite place for wings, though?
God. It's been a long time since I've had good wings. Like it's
I would agree with that.
yeah. I think the last time I had good wings was it was a wing stop on 1960 was the last time I had like decent wings, and Buffalo Bayou wings. Is that what it's called?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah, they had good wings a long time ago, and I don't know what happened. They went to shit.
Because they shrank them.
I don't
Yeah.
know. No, the
They used to be
sauce,
much bigger.
the
Yeah.
sauces changed. Everything changed. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I do really like the Pluckers golden. I can't remember what the sauce is. It's like a golden spicy sauce. Oh, bro, it's good.
Big City Wings.
But the wings
are
aren't
pretty
good. What is it?
Big City Wings?
Big City Wings.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Yeah, we should have. We're at a freaking bar. We should bring wings in one day.
Bring
do a
just
wing
big
test.
platter.
You have to twist my arm. This fat kid. will
Well,
go
you
for it.
can't. It's not on your.
of a bitch.
It's not on your meal plan.
What about a week 2 or a month 2?
Phase 2. Yes, we can do it on phase 2. Technically, we can do it on phase 3, but whatever. We'll make an
Hey,
exception.
I mean, so what? 1 more week? 2 more weeks?
Is it only one more week? I don't know.
Like 1 or 2, something like that.
I think it's 2.
Is it 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Question though, that brings up a good point with food. Do you guys have your own in-house chef? Like, how are y'all handling the
Oh,
food?
yeah, we have a lot of them.
You have a lot
really?
of chefs,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
chefs.
So the kitchen itself is bigger than the old pub was.
Okay.
Wow.
Wait, what? The kitchen is bigger than the
The
pub?
kitchen is bigger than the previous Blue Lion location.
Just the kitchen.
Just the kitchen. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No. The
Holy
old Blue
crap.
Lion in Grogan's Mill was maybe 1,500 square feet and some change, and the kitchen is bigger than that. Like,
Wow.
I've got so much
Whoa.
room for activities there.
I love that. Do we just become best friends?
We did.
Yup.
We did. Like I've been bragging about this. Like, so Henry, Legend Barbell, Henry has been one of my biggest supporters since day one. I had a cocktail named after him for a long time.
Oh, nice.
And every time I see Henry, I was like, dude, you're not gonna believe what we put on this menu. You won't believe what tequila I'm ordering. Like every time I see Henry, he and I grew up together too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, I've known him since I was 10 years old.
Real quick. Hold on one second. Okay, we're back.
And then he was a big supporter of the pub from day one. He would do the Legend Christmas parties there every year.
Okay.
And then same with the other gym too. That's why I love the gym community as a whole. No matter which gym we all branch out to, we all started as friends somewhere, and everybody, I would say from Leader to Northside to Texas Iron to Legend, they've all been big supporters because they've all come in the pub before.
Yeah.
They all had their birthday parties there, and I love seeing people in the fitness industry come in, and I'm like, hey, we're making this, but we made this from scratch.
Yeah.
So we're offering like good food. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's still bar food, so it's still a cheat, but it's not when you're gonna feel horrible about it.
You can have whatever. Like, you can have excellent food, and if it's quality, like, it may be high. Like, we talk about this all the time. Like, again, just like having the alcohol, if you're going to a pub and having a drink, like, enjoy some good food. If your diet is on point all the time, you can enjoy a cocktail and some wings or whatever.
Yeah, it's when you start making it a daily issue.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's when it's a problem.
We were known for our burger.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
We were voted best burger in the Woodlands.
Yeah.
Right before we closed.
Amazing right now.
People from the gym used to come. You think about the gym cheat meal. It's usually burger, French fries, or sushi.
Right.
Or
Sushi, definitely.
Yeah, those are usually the two go-tos for everybody.
Yeah.
And I'd have some people from the gyms come in and they would have not one. They'd be like, "Hey, can I get another burger?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They loved it that much.
Yeah, me too.
So will there be vegetarian options at this place?
Oh yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Excellent.
We're not above making people happy. There's going to be vegetarian options. There's going to be lighter breakfast options because we're going to have an elderly crowd too. So we have to have their health in mind. We wanted to make sure that people come in and they're not excluded.
Yeah.
Do I have like a ton of vegan options? No, but we've got a few ways we can work around it.
Great.
We want to be able to offer something to everybody.
Yeah.
Kids, elderly, gym people, regular Joe Blows, people who don't care what they put in their body. Something for everybody.
I love how
Awesome.
you put that.
Nobody. Yeah.
So is the chef that you had before like going to be a part of this one as well? Okay, perfect. Good.
That's why everybody was asking, like, are you going to have that same burger? I'm like, Jose's coming.
Jose's
awesome. Coming with us.
That's
and
awesome.
then Catherine, who also worked at the old location, she's coming too. And the two of them together. So Jose is great at flavor. He's great at flavor. He's also great at being cost effective.
Oh, good.
And
Perfect.
then Catherine... Catherine's such an interesting woman. English is like her fourth language, and it's her weakest one. She speaks Japanese, French, Spanish, and English.
Where's she from?
I believe Mexico.
Okay,
Part of
wow,
Mexico, but
wow.
she's Japanese and Mexican.
That's
it's
phenomenal.
a very interesting. But she speaks 3 other languages.
Barely speak English.
Before English, but her. She's a classically trained chef.
That's
and
awesome, dude.
She's done things like she served us ceviche out of a hollowed out coconut shell with different sauces around it to try. Like she's,
so cool.
So we have art and we have flavor combined into two while, still being affordable.
Yeah, right.
And that's what we're excited about. And that's what we hope to contribute to the community.
Oh, that's so cool. Man, I want a good burger so bad. It's been a while since I had a good burger.
Good.
No kidding.
Man, there's let me think here. When's the last good burger? It's been a long time since I've had a good burger. Probably a year and a half ago. Joy Love, probably. Joy Love Burger. I don't know if you know her. It was one off 249 in Cypresswood? Spring Cypress? Yeah, that was like the last good burger I had. That was so long ago.
I think you should do yourself a favor since Gosling's not too far from here and look up a Venezuelan food truck called Bocados.
Bocados?
Bocados,
Okay.
yeah. And it is a Venezuelan burger truck.
Oh, cool.
And you can get 2 different options. And they're available on Uber Eats. I used to get the burger as a bowl.
Interesting.
And it would just be all the fixings except for the bread served with French fries in case I wanted to be bad but not too bad.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it's so good. And I like that they're doing actual burgers because I'm really tired of the smash burger trend.
Yeah, I like a good smash burger. To me, though, it's not about the smash. I like the sauce. I like
the sauce, but I want to be able to pick my temperature. I
get you.
I want my meat a little drippy.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair.
I want to take a bite and then look down at the plate and see that puddle of red and brown.
I love egg on my burgers. I love over medium egg on my burgers.
Oh, a good hangover burger.
I love that's so underrated. It's so
I haven't
good.
done that.
You've never had an egg on your burger?
No.
Brr, you're missing out.
You're missing out. You know who
It's the best.
You know who surprisingly makes a really good one and nobody ever talks about it is Twin Peaks.
Really?
Twin Peaks has a good hangover burger.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to go to Twin Peaks just for the talent. It's not so good anymore.
I went there once.
Things we say now.
Yeah, right? Whatever.
I've been there once.
Really?
Yeah,
it wasn't so much. Same thing as Bombshells?
I think. Well, the
like,
reason why. Okay, I can't do.
You get stabbed at Bombshells.
I cut you so bad.
So I had a cousin that worked at Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
And it just weirded me out ever since.
Oh, that's fair. That's valid.
Yeah.
That's valid. Yeah, you go there and you're like, oh, you're like my cousin.
No.
That's weird.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it was a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out. Like, this,
I haven't seen that in so long.
I mean,
It's a bold move, Cotton.
See how it
See how it pans out.
fuck you, Chuck Norris.
God. So many good movies.
Wait, hold on. I was like, wait, that's not.
That's dodgeball.
That's dodgeball, yeah.
She's jumping around.
Yeah,
She's
that's all right.
it's perfect because we're so bad. We're in and out. Of
watching us like somebody throwing a ping pong in a box. We're just like, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. So God, I haven't seen that either.
Covering
Too.
so many
Dodgeball was
topics
great.
in a short time
If you can
period.
dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
The 5 D's of dodgeball: dip, dodge, dive, and dodge.
Dip, duck, dive, and dodge.
Dodge.
So he says dodge twice.
Yeah.
Patches O'Houlihan.
Patches O'Houlihan.
Why have I not created a cocktail called that yet?
Patches? You should. Old Patches?
That
Old
would
Patches.
be awesome.
Why does it smell like urine?
Just drink that drink.
Toilet wine.
Yeah. It's sterile and you'll like the taste.
Because it's sterile and I like the taste.
Is it necessary to drink my own urine? No, but it's
But
sterile.
I still did.
So funny. God, that movie's so good.
So bad.
I kind of want to know and the full story between why you're even doing another bar. Like what happened there?
You know, it was very, very sad towards the end, especially when we were on the last days of being open. You know, looking around at the walls, and I'm like, fuck, I painted these walls.
Yeah.
You know, it was sad. It was very sad.
Well, let's go back even further past that. Like what led up to that?
You know, it was just new strip center was being built in, and we were no longer going to be a part of the existing businesses there.
Okay,
And
got
it
it.
ended up being a blessing in disguise.
Okay.
You know, Travis and Millie were longtime regulars at the pub. I absolutely adore these people. I can't wait for you to meet them.
Okay, cool, yeah.
You know, I think if that hadn't happened that way, we wouldn't get this second opportunity to really do things the way we want to. And that was a conversation I had with, I don't know if you ever got to meet Lauren at the pub.
Maybe. I mean, so many people. It's hard.
She was one of the first
so bad with
people
names.
that I hired at the Blue Lion. And Lauren stayed with me from beginning to end.
Wow.
Lauren was
So 4 years, right?
4 years. Lauren was the other half of me.
Okay.
And I was having a conversation with her on the phone about coming back around to Blue Lion Part 2.
Yeah.
And she was a little hesitant. And I was like, you know, this is our second chance to do everything that we wanted and do it great.
Yeah.
And then that's how she came aboard.
Okay.
And now...
And what's her position now? She's doing the same stuff, or
Lauren
what?
is actually very, very organized, which is one of my favorite things about her. She's extremely organized. She's great at keeping me level-headed. She's great about having those seeing outside of the box and finding better solutions. So Lauren is organizing our entire staffing program.
Beautiful.
And doing events.
Got it.
And then
So like a marketing kind of a position with staff?
Well, we have a marketing girl, and she's been beautiful at it. I don't know if you've been following the Blue Line page.
Yeah,
and see-
dude, the pictures that have been on it, she's been doing all of that. Because
She's-
it's pretty cool.
She's hilarious, too.
Oh, really?
I've been loving her social media posts.
I love that.
And then I have my beverage program, and Jose and Baldo have their kitchen, and
Yeah.
Erica has the whole restaurant. So
Beautiful.
we all have our different zones and
Yeah.
things we're strongest at that we get to put all of our love and focus in.
Okay.
And I'm just so grateful of Travis and Millie and Wes and Lisa, and just so excited to actually, you know, I spent close to 8 weeks behind my laptop planning out the bar program before even testing it.
Okay.
You know, and like I said, I think I brought it up before. I had the flavor Bible right here.
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
the cocktail book from 1939.
That's so
I had
cool.
the Liquid Alchemist book here. And the flavor Bible is something I think you should consider getting your hands on if you don't have one. It's on Amazon. It's a book about this thick. And you just flip it open and you come to peaches. And it tells you everything that pairs well with peaches flavor
nice.
profile.
Oh, that's cool.
So
yeah.
that's what has always helped me build cocktail menus.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody brings me an obscure fruit, like say dragon fruit, you know, I'll pop up in there and be like, okay, so what will pair well with the dragon fruit without taking away from the flavor?
Yeah.
It has everything from prosciutto to basil to
Interesting.
nuts. Like it'll just go on and on through it, and it'll be just one long column. Some things have like 3 or 4 columns of things that pair well with them.
Yeah.
The Flavor Bible has been my godsend.
That's so cool, and that's such a cool way to like pair drinks with food too, like to be able to get a full experience.
Yeah.
I actually learned about it from Steve Sharma at El Big Bad, where I was for 3
Big
years.
Bad, really?
Yeah,
That's
I worked for Steve for on and off for 3 years.
Oh, that's cool.
I was talking about, El Big Bad was essentially just a margarita bar with a bunch of different high-end tequilas and about 70 different infusions that they did in-house. And I'd be like, I'm having trouble trying to figure out the margarita for the day. And Steve just, Steve was like 6'5". So he really didn't have to get out of his chair to reach on a shelf, and he handed me a flavor
We would all
Bible.
need stools.
Yeah. He handed me a flavor Bible, and he was like, just look at what flavors we have up there.
That's cool, man. That's awesome.
I saw this, and I was like, oh my God.
It give you
I should
tingles.
steal this.
It just, like goes up your spine like, ooh.
No.
Awesome.
I was excited about the book.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You just like get shivers about it. Like, oh, this is so cool.
I was like, God, he's gonna notice if I fucking steal this. I don't order my own on Amazon.
That's so funny. I get like that with nutritional stuff. Like I get like the nutrition books and stuff, and get all this cool information. I'm like, oh, this is so cool.
I know I can do it.
I love that. Okay, so all that happened at Strip Center, did all that kind of stuff, and then they bought. Like, did you owned the bar, but you were leasing the space, or did you own? Okay, because I thought you owned that space.
No. We were just leasing the space from the Strip Center.
That's so frustrating.
We had taken an old nail salon and converted it into a bar.
Oh, wow, okay.
I actually remember when they got the keys to the space. I was sitting
You're like,
there
oh, you walk in.
with Wes and our contractor and our other partner at the time looking over plans, and we were all sitting in the abandoned pedicure chairs. Hanging out in there. And
Did y'all? I hope y'all sold those.
We did. It was an abandoned lease. There were manicure stations, and of course, being the girl that I am, I was pulling open all the drawers and pawing through them, trying to find that good purple lotion they had. They took everything out, but they left the
expensive stuff. Which is stupid. Yeah. That's cool. So then you got with, what were their names again? I'm sorry.
Millie. Oh, Millie and Travis.
Millie and Travis. So you got with Millie and Travis, and they came to you and said, hey, would you like to continue this? Or did you go to them and be like, hey?
They actually went to Wes.
Went to Wes, okay.
Not me. They, probably the worst business proposal experience ever. They flew them out via private jet to Key West to one of the islands, and they stayed in a big French chateau, and they hung out in the bars that Travis's mother owns in Key West. Like, God, just a horrible. No. They had a one, and that was how they.
Amazing.
It was their handshake to the partnership.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and you didn't get a part of any of that.
I didn't get to
Where
go.
were you?
So lame.
I was at home taking care of the parrots.
Oh God, the Velociraptors.
Yeah, the Velociraptors. They're just in Key West, but Travis and Millie and Travis's mother Linda, who I also adore, they're so kind, and they're so smart, and they're so busy. They're good people, and I just adore them.
That's awesome.
I'm so excited to look at them and be like, oh, hey, boss, Yeah, they're lovely people. I can't wait for everybody to just get a load of this guy.
That's so cool. That's awesome. I love that. So they fly him out. It's crazy, extravagant vacation.
It's like a huge inconvenience.
Good Lord.
You had to go to Key West.
Good
kidding.
That's insane.
I would have loved to have gone, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I have to take.
Well,
care
we
of
don't
the
trust
parrots.
anybody else with the birds.
You really there's certain pets that a dog. Everyone knows and has. Or not say everyone, but there's way more people that know how to take care of dogs than they do parrots and stuff, especially exotic parrots.
Parrots bite.
Yeah. So if you don't know Kristi, we'll link your Instagram page too as well. She does these shorts on Instagram. It says living with Velociraptors, and they're so funny. These birds are hilarious. They're so cool. They do some fun stuff. Mm-hmm. But okay, so they came in and said, okay, we want to keep going, but we want you to run this. Mm-hmm. And then how did you get to the location you're at? How did all that pan out?
Wes and Travis were looking for locations, and they happened across the breakfast place.
Yeah.
And the owner was ready to
so it was perfect
sell.
timing. Okay, cool.
And they took it over almost immediately and operated it as the breakfast place and Highlander pub for a little bit, and made some changes around, and then they're like, okay, we've got to close now, so we got to renovate the place. And It essentially, I would say quite gutted. I would say some things were taken out and some things were added in, move it around. Because the decor of the breakfast place was, it was breakfast place for old people.
Yeah, right.
So obviously we're still going to be welcoming of old people, but we want to modernize
liven it up a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, we would like to attract some fun brunch people too.
For sure.
Right.
I love the fact that y'all are doing brunch because I think it beyond just the normal kind of Sunday brunch after drinking on Saturday. Like, no, let have like a proper brunch place. That's really cool. Because I can think of at least 20 people that would love to do that. Even like they're working in their office and they want to go have brunch or something. That's absolutely freaking it's amazing.
Well, we used to, I don't know if you ever knew about this back in the day when you were in industry, but there used to be such a thing called industry brunch because a lot of us would work brunch shifts on Sunday and we wouldn't get brunch, so they would have it on Monday night, which is Bartender Friday.
Yeah.
Outlaw Dave's on Washington. What Revolver is now used to be Outlaw Dave's.
Okay.
And they would do industry brunch there, and there you could see in the sound booth the Outlaw Dave show.
I'm trying to think. I know I've been to Revolver. Is that where it's mainly big patio bar surrounding just one building and it has like the bay, like bay doors that slide up? Okay, I know exactly.
It's right over by Washington.
Yeah, exactly.
They changed that construction, but it still got that chevron right in the middle.
Yeah. That's a really cool place. Really?
Yeah. Washington Avenue is not the same.
Yeah. I used to work for the same people that owned Beer Market.
Okay.
So
Heights Beer Market or
the same people owned them. So the Heights one and the one that was in Midtown, right? So and they also owned Pub Fiction and Third Floor and Celtic Garden and what was the other one? Shot Bar.
Yeah.
Good people, awesome people. Did you know any of those guys?
I feel like one of the guys that had an ownership in Pub Fiction also owned part of Revolver too. I can't remember his name.
Might have.
Tattooed up guy.
Oh,
kind of California skater vibe.
Couple of them, yeah. I know who you're talking about. No names, anyway. But yeah. Good, but like him and his cousins and his and then their brothers were involved. It was all this big thing. Super good people. But
we had different experiences in that part of town.
You have?
Oh yeah, I was. So y'all were working at bars off of Washington?
I worked at Revolver on Washington, and I filled in a couple of shifts at Lincoln.
Okay.
That's really about it.
Okay.
And what did you do?
So I was, I'd never bartended for that group, but I was a bouncer for that group.
I was the food service director for the jail that was right off of Washington.
Oh yeah.
So,
that's so funny.
A totally different experience.
Yeah. Well, not really.
Well, I mean, probably dealt with a lot of the same clientele.
Not on Fridays and Saturday nights. It was about the same.
The great thing about working on Washington is that you hit up El Tiempo. And there's your hangover.
So good.
I think that's the good El Tiempo. I'll die on that hill.
It's so good.
It's so good.
So good. God, the grease.
Oh God, what was there was a burger place that was just down. That was actually you went past Washington. Oh God, what was it called? They had like this monster burger. It looked like it was in a house.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. It was like a weird
freaking burger I've ever seen in my life.
It was like set back some.
Yeah.
I know exactly what place.
Right
across from the pizza place.
Yeah.
What was the name of that pizza? Star Pizza?
Was it Star Pizza?
Yeah.
Oh, but
I remember that. Burger. That burger was legit.
I'm gonna be thinking about that all day until I remember the name of it.
I can't remember the name of that place, but I know exactly what you're talking about. We went there all the time.
Did you ever go to Ninja Ramen? They would stay open late on the weekends.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh man, so Chris is actually. Yeah, I consider Chris Wang like a mentor of mine in the industry. I think between him and Terry Williams and Steve Sharma, like these are guys I could call and be like, "Hi, is this legal?" Christopher Wang is probably one of my favorite people. So Ninja Ramen's been open forever, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a ramen bar.
Yeah, with ninjas everywhere.
You're not allowed to have the Wi-Fi password. There's no takeout. There's always anime on TV, and he has. I want to say, I don't know if it's still the same, but to my knowledge, he still possesses the largest Japanese whiskey selection in the country.
Oh, cool. Wow.
And it's a beautiful craft cocktail bar. It's such a cool place. And just to give you like a good indication of Chris's humor, he opened up the world's smallest bar right behind it. And it's just got one bar still in it. The bar's called Toy Gun Pew Pew.
I love that.
So I couldn't keep you. It's right behind Ninja Ramen on Washington, and you go in there and you drink Jameson at cost.
That's so
and
funny.
then you go get what I think is still something, because it's still family run. So the ramen stock is handmade.
Yeah.
And you can taste a massive difference. Like
Yeah.
everything from the way they do their duck eggs. I used to just beg for extra pickled bamboo. It's one of my favorite things in ramen.
God. Do not like bacon.
You know, he simplified it just like I did with cocktails. Like there's only 3 different kinds of ramen.
Yeah.
And then you get the spam sushi and then the mochi for dessert.
Spam
Like,
sushi.
Spam
Oh my
sushi,
God.
don't knock it until you
I'm
try
not knocking it, man.
sushi is lovely.
It sounds like it would be a good flavor combination just because of the amount of salt.
I was going to say the saltiness of it.
Just the saltiness of it. The
Yeah.
brininess of it would be good.
But hopefully, like if a cold front will blow in any day, so that, it'd
Dude,
be perfect ramen weather.
I love a good bowl of ramen, man.
Yeah, but there's good parking. Like there's that parking lot right across the street. You know where Pearl Bar is on Washington?
Yeah.
There's that parking field.
Man, this is
fenced in.
taking me
Yeah,
back.
and then
I
you just
haven't
walk
been over
right
there in
across the street
so
and there's a
long.
ramen.
Yeah.
I haven't been over there in so long.
The last time I was on Washington was my wife had a gala that we had to go to for her work, and we got tired of being there. So she and I and one of her friends from work were like, "Let's go hit up Washington. We're just down the road."
Yeah.
And we went to that Ninja Arcade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the worst experience I've ever had. Because I walk in and I was like intrigued by it because I was like, oh, cool. It's a place where you can have drinks and it's all old school arcade stuff. And I walk in and it's just like there's a DJ there. It's just like the loud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm too old for this. Yeah. I mean, this was like.
Lethal Weapons.
Oh, dude. It was a full on Danny Glover moment.
You know, he was 41.
Yes.
Same age as I am right now.
Yeah.
And-
He was 41 when he was too old for that shit.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But this had to have been probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man.
And I was just like, I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah, man.
I am nowhere near where I should be. I mean, they're in like these like real nice gowns. I'm in a rented tux that makes me look like I'm wearing a box for a suit.
You looked great.
Nah, dude.
Yeah,
All right.
I know.
Off topic subject.
No, you don't say.
I know. When you have to rent a tux,
I
okay?
hate renting tux.
God,
Yes.
do you feel like you're wearing a box? Because of how they fit?
Every single time. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing fits me.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have I'm like in a 54 or 58 chest.
Yeah.
And I have a 34-inch waist.
Yeah.
So, nothing fits right.
Nothing. No, okay.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's like that Wreck-It Ralph kind of
Pretty
build.
much,
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah,
womp,
it's-
womp.
yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah.
I actually used to do marketing for Al's Formal Wear. And that was actually a fun gig. That was a fun gig. But
I did that. But it was
They have suit places though for men that are more barrel chested with bigger shoulders and arms
Yeah.
with smaller waist.
yeah,
though.
but nothing else fits.
Yeah, no,
It's
yeah.
like the width, like because the jacket, they're not going to tailor the jacket because there can be such a discrepancy with people.
Oh, yeah.
So just like you'll look good and you put the jacket on, you look like a schmuck.
yeah. Look like,
So you just gotta like maybe just do like a nice vest with a tie or
that's
suspenders.
nine times out of 10. That's what happens. I just get rid of the jacket and just wear the vest.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but the suspenders are a good call for sure. Yeah.
I didn't think about
Or
that.
just say fuck it and get a kilt.
Yeah.
We sported kilts.
Yeah, we were in kilts
Yeah.
on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Yeah, definitely sport a kilt.
Yeah, kilts are so fantastic. The problem though here in Houston is
You can't wear them properly.
you can't wear them properly, especially if you're a big boy. You'll have your thunder thighs rubbed.
Oh,
and
come on.
It's
that is some chafing.
thunder
you
and
wouldn't
lightning
believe.
between your legs.
Well, you know how to get rid of that is you just get some unscented powdered spray deodorant and
It's
spray
not
right
enough.
between there.
Not enough.
No, you
Not-
gotta get the
not-
secret for women. It's strong
not-
enough for a man, but made for a woman.
Strong enough for a man,
trust
made for a woman.
Gold bond, like
It was not strong
enough.
enough on Saturday. No.
Yeah. So,
gotta wear
so
some Spanx.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. That's exactly what it is.
And we just started a fire with what would have been going on.
Yeah. What did you say? Start a fire in a
Yeah.
heavily wooded area?
Oh, God,
Dangerous
yeah.
combo.
Yeah. He was like, dude, are you going to go natural? I was like, bro, no.
Yeah, he was like, no, it's going to be so humid. You're going to be so uncomfortable. I'm like, that's probably a good call. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah, and I said, bro, we're going to start a fire and we're in a heavy wooded area. That is not a good idea.
It's so good.
It was so dry.
It's so hot, man. Yeah. Love it.
That's Billy Joel, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah.
If you don't educate yourself.
God, we're so old.
So old.
Billy Joel's so good, though. All right, let's do some whiskey.
Yeah.
You
All right.
want to do some whiskey? You ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do today. Something fun.
Fun for us, anyway.
Yeah, fun for us. Y'all can watch and, have a giggle. But we're going to do 4 different whiskeys, as you see here in front of you. And we are going to pick 3 notes on the nose and then 3 from the palate. And then we're going to look it up and see if we're actually right.
So, I think before we do that, when you do these tastings,
You don't say out loud what you're smelling and tasting, right, until everybody's done.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because you don't want to.
You don't want to.
You don't want the power of
influence.
suggestion.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a really good point. I should have said that. Normally when it's him and me, we will do that because we're conversing about it.
Yeah.
But this time no. We're gonna keep it to ourselves, and then I guess what we could do is one at a time. Let's do one at a time.
We'll do one at a time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
And we are all doing Texas bourbons. So,
Boop. Boop. I'll let you do the honors, sir. You are a resident bartender.
all right, let's go ahead and start off with the Whitmire single barrel. Now, you said you had a funny story about Whitmire's.
I do. So, a lot of the wax top bottles, they usually have the pull tab that makes it easier to come out. I think Maker's Mark in particular, Garrison Brothers, they all have a little pull tab with the wax. I tried to open the Whitmire's and the pull tab snapped. And the wax on that bottle, the one I had in particular, was super, super thick. So I used the handheld bar torch that I used to flame cocktails with to burn all the wax off.
And you were holding the bottle at the time?
I was holding the bottle away from
Oh, wait. Okay. At least you were holding it like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the guys at the bar, they were all whiskey nerds, so they were like, we appreciate you doing everything you can to break into this bottle. I was this close to just smashing it against the wall and
Wow.
putting it in a carafe and just handing it to him.
funny. That's so funny. So the tabs is the tab just like a normal kind of plastic tab that's
It's
in there?
really not that easy to. Some of these wax bottles are not that easy to get open.
Yeah.
They're sealed.
I've
beautifully.
struggled with a Maker's Mark bottle.
Yeah,
What the
sometimes
hell?
if you don't get, it's just like that open in the Grey Goose bottle. If you don't get that good, satisfying tear, the trick is to just turn the. With Grey Goose, you turn the bottle instead of pulling the tab. But with Maker's Mark, if you don't get that just going and you snap that tab, it fucks your whole shift for the rest of the day.
All right.
But it's
Cheers.
kind of like a PR attempt that you miss. Sluncha. All right, so what did y'all detect?
Okay, we'll start with the nose. We'll start with Kristi.
On the notes on the initial smell, before I opened my mouth to smell again, I got leather.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I opened my mouth again, I got leather and ethanol.
Oh, yeah.
And then on the start of the taste, I immediately got thick tannins of toffee. Mm-hmm. And then on the middle, you started to get almost like a dry oil, like a dry citrus oil, like grapefruit, but with pepper in there.
Yeah.
And then on the end of it, I got a bit of a bread and ethanol.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Okay. What'd you get?
I got a lot of berry on the nose. At the start, again, I kept almost like it almost seemed like it singled out to be a cherry flavor with definitely that heavy black pepper or like a cracked pepper. Right at the end, got a hint of the leather as well. A little bit of vanilla.
I got a tiny bit, yeah.
That's so funny. Vanilla was strongest to me.
Really?
Yeah. Right on the nose, the vanilla I was like, whoa, I got vanilla, toffee, and then the bread. Like, it was almost like a fresh baked, more like a rye bread. And then on the taste, right, the pepper. So black pepper was first. And then the vanilla came through, and then the toffee was really strong. But then when I tasted it again, it was almost like that bread came back, right? So super good though, very interesting. The leather, and the leather is there. The leather is there. So yeah, that's interesting. The vanilla is so strong to me.
Let's see here.
I can get it now, almost like a Madagascar vanilla though, not just like like more like the bean kind of.
Yeah, like a real vanilla.
But I get a lot of that leather though. I love it.
So I get the leather, but it's so much on the back. It's not really pronounced. The pepper
That pepper is prominent in there, though. That pepper's in there.
The pepper pops hard.
It's
Yeah.
Anytime I've suggested it, it's exactly what I've kind of. The one thing that always stood out to me was that black pepper.
Like what are the bits in there? Is that pepper that's in there? Or is that just the wood?
I don't know, actually. I've never noticed that before.
That'd be from the cork, probably.
Probably. Yeah. That might be. All right, so vanilla, sweet raisin, dried fruits, furniture polish. I guess that's in the nose.
Okay.
Baking spice, oak
That's
cask.
the tannin. I get the tannin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oil varnish, ripe fruit, cake, cinnamon, clove, caramelized fruit notes on the nose.
I didn't get hardly any of that.
caramelized fruit.
Interesting.
No. So spices, furniture polish, cream, oak cask, caramel, dark chocolate, raisin, herbal notes on the palate, and the spice, chocolate, oak cask, vanilla, ripe fruits, cream, and herbal notes of a long finish.
No pepper?
No pepper.
You know, the thing about a lot of whiskey, and it's something that I always tell everybody that comes to a bar, and I think you would both agree, is that whiskey is perspective as well. Because when people come
We
up
talk
to the
about
bar,
that every single episode.
I know a lot of people are like, when they come to the bar, they're like, what's the best whiskey? I'm like, that's actually up to you. Because
That's a
there's,
hard question to answer.
you know, for me,
Yeah.
when people are like, oh, I think Blanton's is the best whiskey, and I'm like, you know, I like a good Colonel E.H. Taylor small batch. Or if I'm really feeling something on the sweeter side, Woodford Double Oaked is
Woodford's good.
always. Woodford is a solid American whiskey that I think goes right along with how American whiskey in a modern day should taste.
Okay.
Yeah, the Woodford line is actually probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, I have, and my favorites are, right now, so far, my favorites are like the Redwood Empire. Really, really enjoyed that. And then like Basil Hayden. I love Basil Hayden.
Hazel Hayden's a good one.
That's a
I
fantastic
actually
whiskey.
like using that as a go-to in an old fashioned.
Really?
They don't want
See,
bullet. Yeah.
I didn't. I've never wanted to use it in old fashioned because, like, I didn't want to. I didn't like. I guess I should try it. I should have tried it. But I'm afraid would cover it up. But I do really like. Those are probably my two favorite. And then like he's really turned me on to Balcones. Like the Rumble is so good. And then we did the Three Amigos one.
Yeah.
I like the balconies, the Brimstone.
Brimstone's very
Brimstone
good.
is good. You actually get a lot of leather on Brimstone.
So funny you should say that. You got a surprise coming, buddy.
Oh?
We got a bottle of Brimstone on the way.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's like Christmas.
I'm so excited for the Brimstone because I was reading on it and I was like, this sounds right up our alley.
Yeah. Yeah, Brimstone is very nice. That's a really good one. All right, so next up we've got Bingham's Bourbon. This is Ryan Bingham.
Bingham's Bourbon.
This is Ryan Bingham's bourbon that he's
Did
put
it
out.
spill?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Ryan Bingham is a singer-songwriter, actor. He's in Yellowstone.
I think we've talked about him.
Yeah.
The guy that plays the Texan?
Yeah.
Yeah, love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God, what is his name on the show?
I don't know. I never watched it.
That's such a good show. It's
I've heard it's a
basically
good show.
it's basically a soap opera for grown men who like westerns.
Oh, sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the juice. That's what I like to call it. Like
The juice.
Yeah, women like spill the tea, right? I call
yeah,
it the juice. I'm like, give me the juice. I
Oh,
love the
bro,
juice.
100%.
I love the juice.
Yeah.
Like Bridgerton. Oh, I love that
I
show.
love Bridgerton.
It was so good. It was so
good.
fun. Give me the juice, bro. I love that shit. All right, let's go.
All right, so let's
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh.
Whoa.
That's drastically different. I'm getting a lot of the same flavor profile as on the nose.
On the nose as
It
well.
almost matches.
It's almost as if the nose overpowers the taste.
I disagree. I think it
Or it makes me feel like it matches.
it complements it beautifully. I think it's perfect. I think it's almost like a full experience once you hit your palate, it like completes the experience.
I would say on the nose, I get,
Ooh, man.
I get a lot more fruit and floral, but the fruit is very, very subtle.
Yeah.
When the ethanol is even lighter.
Yes,
on that
exactly.
base.
Yeah.
It does not have the whiskey burn to it at all. And
it
then
sits in the cheek beautifully.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
It's not.
I wasn't expecting that. That's fantastic.
It's not quite as chewy as I would say. There's no toffee, there's no real caramel or anything like that. It doesn't sit there in your mouth and build up any form of tannins or anything. But I like how light it is. It's almost like a very light dried apple with a little bit of cinnamon on the end of that.
Yeah.
And then, even after, because obviously I'm not gonna swallow it, but. I still like the aftertaste it leaves in the mouth.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It sits so well.
It's almost like a very light, dry kind of finish to it.
I didn't quite get that, but I see where you're coming from.
No, I see that as like a really, really good sip. No, it's something like I would say like a summer sipping whiskey.
Yes.
Agreed.
For the Whitmeyers, you would drink that on a cold fall night by the fire.
Yeah,
but you want the heat from that. But that Bingham's is actually...
Yeah, that was actually, I was really surprised by that.
Yeah. What'd you
Very
get?
clean whiskey.
I kind of got almost like a raisin or a grape notes. Definitely got very floral, a little bit of the fruit, sweet citrus fruits on the nose. On the palate, I got a heavy grape or raisin flavor. I didn't get any elements of coffee like you would normally get, or like that leather. Didn't get any of the charred oak. It was very light, very fruity for me.
Yeah.
No ethanol burn whatsoever.
No ethanol.
None.
I got a lot of the floral.
Yeah.
The floral came through the strongest. I didn't get any fruit. I got like a very fresh tobacco, like like
a cherry tobacco.
Yeah. Like almost like a pipe tobacco, like just a real light tobacco. And then the leather, but it was almost like a God, and if you don't, it's hard to explain. Like a deer leather, that kind of like the smell, like
a already tanned,
like a tan hide kind of.
Yeah. Like suntan leather.
Yeah,
I got that out of it, and the flavor almost complemented that exactly. Lots of the floral note. It didn't hit hard, but when it sat in the cheek, like a lot of that, I just felt like it was pipe tobacco that I was smoking, and that's what it like I got out of it. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful whiskey.
So for the aroma, it's sweet and smoky with a hint of brown sugar, which
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
For the palate, a lush mouthful with flavors of pecan and dried fruits.
Okay.
With a spicy finish with a hint of toasted nuts, marshmallow, and
marshmallow.
Scent. I think marshmallow definitely. But
I can see that now. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's a light whiskey. That would make a delightful smash.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That would be great.
I love that.
Yeah, that was.
I can't believe that's from
like
like
a little bit left in mine if you want.
I can't believe that's like from a. Like, not saying he doesn't know whiskey.
Well,
and bourbons, but
usually when it comes to celebrity,
they just put their name on it, right?
Yeah. A lot of.
But who knows? Maybe he had to say. Well, I don't know.
I mean, he might have. Who knows? But he did pretty well.
That's a hell of good whiskey. I like that, man. That's
Some celebrities' spirits either play very, very well or they're not very good. I think George Strait's tequila is really underrated.
Really?
Codigo? I think Codigo is delicious.
Is it? I haven't had that
with
one.
the cups? Are we just
kind of stacking
Stacking them. Yeah, just stack yours.
Here's mine. Never mind.
And then,
Oh, that's such
Chris,
a
you have
satisfying
guys
pull.
like P. Diddy who,
Yeah, we don't talk about P.
bit the hand that fed him, and that's why he's. And Diddy was essentially the face of Ciroc, and I think he thought he was entitled to a little bit more from Diageo than he actually got, and he, lit a fire under the wrong ass.
Are you just pulling it up to have it? Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, fun thing about this distillery, have you had a chance to visit it yet?
No. We talked about it though. We talked about it a couple times.
When I worked for 8 Row, Morgan sent a bunch of us with Wade Woodard, who I would consider to be a phenomenal whiskey expert in the city of Houston. Wade rented a big, call it church van, and drove us to High Texas to this distillery. And
That's
on the way
cool.
there, we were drinking John Daly's and Campari soda, Campari and Topo Chico.
Nice.
We had to, needless to say, we made him stop for a couple of bathroom breaks. But this distillery in particular has such a beautiful setting. When you first get in, like you're at the welcoming center and the bathrooms. So the stalls, you go through one door. And then you're essentially facing a window while you're doing your business, but it's one-sided. You can see out, but nobody can see in.
Right.
So
Or you hope,
you're
yeah.
doing your business while looking out on hill country.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it's kind of cool. And then they've got the rick
I can
houses.
smell that from here.
It's a good whiskey. They especially over time.
Do we need to let it breathe a little bit?
Probably.
I could smell it.
Yeah.
So they've got their rick houses set up just in a row of 3, and you can stand at the edge of one and look straight through all of them and just look out into hill country, Texas.
That's so cool.
One of I believe he's the son of one of the owners or the nephew of one of the owners, but he's heavy into it. And then their rep was a regular at Two Tones. I think that over time, this whiskey has just gotten better. You know, when they were still a fairly new distillery, the product tasted very immature. Mm-hmm. You know, Texas whiskey, it's hard to really get right because our climate is not ideal to aging whiskey, but they found a way to do it right with smaller barrels. Mm-hmm. And I think over time they've just gotten better. Especially they're no longer using yellow corn.
There's white corn now, right?
They were no longer using white corn.
Right.
They're back to using yellow dent corn.
Yeah.
But they started out, I think the story that I remember from the distillery is when they started out, they got a shipment of white corn and they couldn't afford to send it back.
Right.
So they just did that as part of their mash bill.
I love that. There's just all these tiny little snafus, and it winds up being the way to go.
But I think for a good high-end Texas whiskey, you know, over time they've just gotten better.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to be them and Balcones, I think, are going to be very, very long-standing.
Oh, absolutely.
I love Balcones, man. It's fantastic. The first was it episode 1? I think it was episode 1.
No,
we did the Rumble.
We didn't do a tasting on 1.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah, it was a Rumble.
Was it Rumble?
Yeah, man.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dude, I remember that. Rumble was fantastic. Okay.
I think I heard the same story about how they did receive the incorrect shipment. They ordered the yellow corn because it was cheaper. They got a white corn, and they were like, "Yeah, we can't pay for this."
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "All right, we'll just charge you the yellow corn price and just keep the white corn." And they tried making the same. They tried using the same process with the yellow corn once they were able to get it. It just didn't turn out right.
Yeah.
So they,
tried it again.
Ended up doing the white corn from here on out.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think you can. I think you have to book months in advance, but I think you can reserve a spot to be a wax dipper.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
In fact, I think you can do the wax dipping at Whitmire's too, can't you? Yeah.
That's so cool.
I think all of them have the same thing in common, is that I think Maker's Mark kind of trademarks the wax drip. So
down the bottle.
You can't have it dripping down the bottle.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's even like a certain you can, but I think it's past a certain point is what they have. It's so weird.
Yeah.
So dumb. All right, you want to try this one now?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Cheers.
Cheers.
That's a crazy difference. Versus, I know I gave this away, but I have to mention this. This one was like spot on the nose to the palate. This one couldn't be any more different.
Oh, no.
That's so crazy how it's like that.
I mean, that's what I love. That's one of the things I love about whiskey is the complexity of it. How it can be an experience just by breathing it in.
Yeah.
And then the minute you let it touch your tongue, it's a totally different story.
Ooh, that got me.
So on the very first end, I do get vanilla and toffee with winter spices and. But it's the start, and then when you hold it in the middle for a little bit, for me, it's got that thick, chewy, even more toffee on it that I absolutely love, and it's got almost that, I would say, like carrot cake spices to it, and it doesn't have such a harsh pepper ethanol burn. Like, it's definitely got the heat from the higher proof of it, but it's not so overwhelming.
Yeah,
but when you were like, I didn't swallow it, but if I were to, I would have had the same reaction of you, because that the little 14 points more in proof, you definitely feel going down in there.
Yeah.
But even after the fact, just when I started breathing through my mouth, I still got a little bit of leather on there, but it was also a lot of char from the oak barrels that I got from that.
Yeah.
It's a good distillery. They really
beautiful.
execute it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I got notes of citrus, breathing it in, a little bit of vanilla, leather. On the tongue, caramel. Again, vanilla. Can definitely taste the oak in it. Ethanol wasn't as bad, I thought.
I would.
I mean, for being that high of a proof, I would have expected there to be a bit more of a.
I think
bit more of
that
a
the
kick.
ethanol really comes a little bit harsher on the finish than it would on the start of it.
Yeah, I mean, even holding it on the tongue and actually trying to let it settle back a bit more onto the back of the tongue, I still found it to be pretty light considering how high it was, but it was nice. I
Yeah,
enjoyed
that's
it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So I got on the nose cherry was immediate, like a really rich, like I don't know what they're called, like the high end cherries are really nice.
Like
cherries.
the Luxardos?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like the candied cherries, and then it was nutmeg, and then leather. But on the palate, like lots of char like a charred caramel, and then leather as well, and just some more of those like cinnamon nutmeg kind of
the
flavors.
spice,
Yeah, like a leathery pumpkin pie.
Yeah, leathery winter spice kind of.
Yeah, but like it sounds so weird when you say it like that. You're like, oh,
Well, but
it's
the
nice.
thing is though,
Weird.
is that you've got to experience. The
Yeah.
spirit
I
to be able to go. Okay, I can identify with
That's
that.
that's my thing though. Like I don't have the I'm learning, but I don't have the vocabulary to explain.
But
know what I mean?
I mean, reading the notes as you were talking about it, you're actually pretty.
Really,
explained it
it
pretty
was
well, yeah.
like cherry hit me so
See,
hard at the beginning.
all right, so on the nose, butterscotch, oak, vanilla, nutmeg, oak spice, fruitiness, menthol, eucalyptus, and
I didn't
smoky
get the
tobacco.
eucalyptus. Tobacco, yeah,
Yeah.
but not as much as the leather. And maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing the tobacco with leather because I seem to be like mixed up on each one. But it's I don't know that like again like we talked about. You get what you get. It's an experience to yourself. But it's kind of hard to separate it out.
Yeah.
Especially these. Like I'm learning and finding out that the higher end whiskeys, they're one far more complex and two far more blended. Like the flavors are so blended together versus like a lower shelf whiskey where it's very defined flavor, right?
Oh, yeah.
I find that fascinating,
Yeah.
and that's like is that from the aging process and the barrels used, or is that just part of the entire distillation process?
I mean, it could be everything.
It's a combination of it.
Yeah, climate
Yeah.
to where they sit in the rick house even.
Oh, really?
And the Van Winkle line in particular is just limited barrels, and they sit in a certain spot.
Oh, see, now I'm doing like super strong vanilla.
Yeah. Well, on the palate, leather, sweet herbal oak, mild proof heat, creamy oak, a smoky caramel. Again, eucalyptus, barrel char, and vanilla.
Yeah,
On the finish, menthol, ricola, lozenge note, long-lasting, and coating.
such a specific
It's
flavor.
so wild how some of these flavor profiles
Yeah.
some people get. They're like, oh, I got,
Yeah, I got Ricola. Like,
I got yellow cake and diesel. And I'm like, how?
How? Yeah.
that's so funny. Well, it's just like you're drinking an IPA, right? And it's like, oh, I'm getting grapefruit and cat piss.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
You liked the IPA that you had at the Ren Fair?
It was fine. It
There's-
was fine.
They have their place.
There's different IPAs. East Coast IPAs I find to be delicious because they're juicy.
Yeah.
They're a lot more. There's actually a very funny one. It's a black IPA and it's a mandarin orange and it's got just the orange with Donald Trump's hair on it. It's called Mandarin Chief.
I love
It's a
that.
black
Sorry.
juicy IPA and it's quite delicious. East Coast IPAs are done beautifully. West Coast IPAs, you have to be prepared for it. It's so
Yeah.
and then Texas IPAs, there's some really, really good. Yellow Rose does it right. I would say Brash does it right. There's a few really good ones, but then there's just some where you like get a pine tree just piss in my mouth.
Yes.
It's-
Agreed. Yeah.
Some of them are just hard. And I mean, with beer, back when I used to imbibe a lot more beer than anything, I was really, really on a phase where I was super into porters.
Yeah,
And
I had the same phase for a long time.
You know, the thing about a porter is it doesn't need to be super cold to be drinkable, but it is not a fast drinking beer.
No, not at all.
It's one of those ones, you know, fall and wintertime, you can just hold in your hand and talk to people and just gradually sip as you go.
What's your favorite porter?
The 512.
Really, the pecan porter?
Yeah, the pecan
so
porter.
good.
Yeah.
I have two, and it's one of those two. The other one's a Breckenridge vanilla porter.
Okay, yeah.
Those are my absolute two favorite. I love them so much.
Well,
yeah, the 512 pecan porter surprised the hell out of me.
It's actually so funny that you brought up a thin mint whiskey because Temptress Brewery has a thin mint stout.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they specialize in different stouts. They have a s'mores, they have a thin mint, they have a caramel one. They have a few of them. Mm-hmm. But a stout is another one of those slow drinking beers, you know. Mm-hmm. But IPAs, like, they're usually just super high proof, sometimes very, very harsh to drink.
Yeah.
Like, it's not... I always wonder, like, when you talk about beer nerds, like, are you actually enjoying this beer? Or are you just drinking it to say you drink it?
Yeah,
you know?
correct. And there's like there was at third floor, we had no, it wasn't Breckenridge. We had the Breckenridge Vanilla Porter on Nitro at one point. I mean, like drinking silk. It was so good. It was wonderful. But there's another one that I forgot about. And you probably had this one too. Is the Pumpkinator.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You
have to
once
serve
a year.
it shorter.
It's so good. No, I get the big bottles.
Really? It's 10%.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll fuck you up.
Yeah, we're not supposed to serve them.
So good.
Yeah,
You get them
16
from. I used to know a guy that like worked at Kroger, and or I trained him, and he would text me when he came in, and he'd be like, "I'll save you a couple of bottles."
And
Yes.
And it's so funny because most of our beers in the States don't go above 10%. And then you got places like Russia where any beer below 10% is a soda.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. That's what I give my child. Yeah.
yeah, and Canada makes fun of us all the time with our low proof
Is
beer.
this the new one?
This is the baby blue. This is Balcones
Oh,
baby
did you already?
blue.
Is this the pour?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is different. Okay, sorry. Cheers. Yeah.
Slancha.
Do you know why we tap it on the bar?
No, I was gonna. God, you read my mind. I was just about to ask that.
It's a salute to the bartender.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Cheers to you. Cheers to the bar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, this one's tough. This one's hard
This
for
is
me.
more complex.
No.
Okay.
Have you seen that video where it's this British guy who's doing a whiskey tasting where he'll pour a little bit into the glass, swirl it around,
And he dumps
dump it
it?
out,
Yeah.
and then pours it in. He's like, "Hello, how are you?"
He's got the big mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. That guy is actually I think he's a former master distiller.
Oh, really?
Or he's part of the Scotch. I watched a Scotch documentary right before we opened the pub because I wanted to dive a little bit more into Scotch. Like obviously American whiskey because of where we are.
Right.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to introduce
a good
people to
Scotch.
some good Scotches because it doesn't get as much love. Everybody's afraid of it. Or they just have the few that they're familiar with because they're cheaper and they can pronounce them.
Yeah. It's usually Glenfiddich, Glenlivet.
Yeah, or Macallan because
Yeah.
they can't pronounce Auchentoshan or Lagavulin or Glenfarclas.
Because they does not. So if you read any of these names, they do not sound like what.
No.
Lafroig.
What is the one that Nick Offerman is behind?
Oh. I don't know. I didn't know he was behind one.
Oh, is it Lavenpole?
I don't know. We talked about it before.
We talked about it before.
I
I've been
Aberfeldy?
wanting- No.
Should have looked it up.
I gotta look it up. But I've been wanting to try it just because I think Nick Offerman is a fantastic human being and
I'm getting
is my spirit animal.
I'm getting a very weird kind of smell. Yeah, I heard that too. I don't know.
What'd she say? Was it the wife?
No, there was a clinging or something.
Oh.
I'm getting a very specific smell, and it's weird, and I think I'm wrong.
I think it could be my energy drink. That's
Of course, it probably doesn't help that we've had.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if this is the way you're supposed to do it. I just thought it would be fun.
I'm trying to. You know what? This might sound really weird, but this is making me think of Renfest. This last one.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know why.
Because it's fun. And we have a good time.
Well, yeah, but I mean, just the smell of it is.
I know, that's what I mean. It smells fun. It smells like a good time.
This smells like the what a kilt would smell like.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I
It's a
would
lot
not
better
say
than that.
It's a lot better than that. Okay, I have to
Go.
say.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I want you to go first, but I have to clarify this on what I'm smelling. Yeah, I'm smelling again vanilla and sweet tarts.
I'm getting
Like a powdery sweet candy, like a sweet tart.
It's weird because I got more of a citrus cream with ethanol.
See, and I'm getting
I don't get that.
I'm almost getting like a note of lime.
Yeah.
At
Some
the end.
kind of citrus.
Yeah.
It sits weird in the mouth too.
This is really complex.
Yeah. It sits almost thick but very smooth still. It's
Oh, I see what you're saying.
End,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
end is almost.
Whoa.
I gotta do it again.
Ethanol's. Yeah, I can definitely taste the ethanol.
I got more ethanol out of, I think, was it this one? This one,
Yeah.
I think.
I think this is the one I get the most ethanol out of. To me.
The thing about it that I noticed is when you're letting it sit for a little bit is that I immediately begin to salivate. So there's definitely a lot more sweetness to that. There's definitely some sweet and citrus with the ethanol burn to it. But
I'm getting licorice too. Like a star anise.
I'm getting like a cream, almost like a cream,
I'm not.
like a
I'm
vanilla
not.
cream.
God, I'm getting some weird shit
I was
out of this one.
getting citrus and cream off of that for
Yeah.
sure. But I was definitely like that's definitely a little bit sweeter than
Yeah.
we give it credit for because usually spirits that make you salivate they're usually a bit of an aperitif, but it's meant to make you do that so you're hungry.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost like a sweet cream.
Yeah. But I get like even after after it's left my taste buds and all that, like I get almost like breaded dried cereal on the end of it with still some ethanol. It leaves like a very dry, almost sawdust.
So,
Almost get like a shaved almond, if that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm getting
so
instead.
I got almost exactly what you said with melted rubber.
Okay.
Like a burnout, right? Like a.
Just get it on my breath.
It's so weird. I got some weird ass flavors out of this.
All right, so on the nose, vanilla.
Yeah,
Following the vanilla are notes of dried corn, fresh pastries, caramel, and oak.
Okay.
Okay. I'm wondering if it's the pastries and the corn that I'm getting like a sweet tart out of.
And let's see, on the palate, vanilla. So damn good. It followed up by a cornucopia of corn flavored, cornmeal, cornbread, corn cakes, and corn chips.
Mm-hmm.
Next to that corn comes yellow birthday cake, berry fruit, leather, and some roasted nuts. Yeah. The finish, vanilla fades into a stale, dusty corn, and then back to vanilla. Shockingly, a short finish. Which, yeah, I would agree. That
Yeah,
this
it's
definitely
very,
is a
very
short
short.
finish.
Yeah.
It doesn't stay
Yeah.
with you very long.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
It's
Which was
beautiful.
surprising.
It's beautiful. Yeah, you would because you would think it, for how thick.
Yeah,
it
it
is,
felt very thick. That's probably the thickest one that out
but
of the
it,
four.
but it didn't stay in the cheeks as
No.
much as some of these other
No.
ones. This is wonderful though. I love this.
Yeah, no, Baby Blue's always been a popular one here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the candied fruit. Yeah.
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 Definitely. The candy fruit with pecans. That's good. That's really good. Yeah, it was in between. So that bottle of brimstone that I got, it was in between the baby blue or the brimstone. And I was like, I think I saw a bottle of baby blue down there, so I wanted to get something we hadn't
I
had.
think I can taste. Yeah, I think now that I hear it, the notes of cornbread. Yeah.
Like I said, I kept getting something dry and
Yeah.
shaved on there. It was like
Yeah.
cornbread without sweet tea.
Yeah.
All kinds of weird shit, the rubber and
Again,
Those-
that's
like
what
a
I love
salsa thing.
about whiskey is just the complexity that is.
yeah, and I don't know what
That's
I'm
in the
doing.
spirit.
I just like.
But here's the
things
thing:
that come to
you've
mind.
actually got a really great palate for it.
You think so?
More than you
I
think.
don't. I don't know what I'm
You've
doing.
picked up a lot of the notes that were there, though.
I think you did better than me. Yeah.
Oh, I disagree. You're the
No, you got.
Well, a lot of those,
You're an expert.
actually, out of all of those, the only one I've ever actually tasted is the Garrison Brothers. I carried the Whitmeyers in the pub, but I never tasted it. And then I didn't, the
This one?
Bingham is new to me.
Whitmeyers.
Like, I didn't know that existed.
I honestly.
This was fantastic.
I honestly
enjoyed the
picked
shit
that
out of it.
up just because it was Brian Bingham's.
Mm-hmm.
And
I am
I'm a fan of his music. And
I am thoroughly impressed by that. Yeah, one of my favorites. I wouldn't say it's like one of the top shelf, but one of our favorites is the Blackened, the Metallica.
Metallica's
Yeah.
Blackened is actually really
It's
good.
surprisingly
We
good.
should actually give a taste of Corey Taylor's whiskey.
I've heard it's
the
really
Slipknot
good.
number 9. We carried them. They're
Okay.
good.
I heard it was
did
really
the-
good.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah,
one.
the Iowa corn.
Yeah,
Oh
really?
yeah, it's good, especially if you get the reserve. The reserve has got that thick rust color
Okay.
Yeah?
to it,
Okay.
and it really just kind of hangs in there. Almost, it feels like you could start chewing it. It's
Oh,
good.
that's cool,
It's
yeah.
almost got that thick peanut butter, peanut brittle
Really?
kind
Yeah.
of flavor to it with
yeah.
cracked
I'm all
pepper and
for
all that.
that.
It's really good.
Yeah,
Heaven's Door I was not a fan of.
Huh?
Heaven's Door?
It's old.
What's Heaven's
They've been
Door?
around for a long time.
I think is that Bob Dylan's?
Or is it Heaven's Door? Or am I thinking? No, I'm confusing it with Heavenly Hill. My bad. There's
Yeah.
so many.
I know.
There's a lot.
There's so many.
You're very.
But to
you're-
your point, though, it's like coming back and it's making like it's getting more love than it's had. This is fantastic.
Which is
What was the name that we? Oh, so we tried one at Ren Fair. What was that one?
oh god, I don't
We have it on camera.
Yeah, we got it on camera.
God, that was fantastic.
that one was amazing.
Started with an A, I think.
yeah.
God, what was it
You
called?
know what? I meant to take a picture of it and I didn't because
We have it on.
Yeah.
We have it on mine.
that was a fantastic.
So we like walked into this shop and we were getting for Whiskey Stones.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you guys are into whiskey?" I was like, "Yeah, we actually, we do a podcast where we feature a whiskey every episode." And he's like, "Oh, can I share with you some of ours?" And we're like, yeah,
Yes,
I
please."
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he like comes out and we start talking to him. We wanted to end up being a Scotch guy, but knew a lot about whiskey. And he brought out this one, and we tried it. And we were like, both of us were like,
Oh,
"Whoa,
it was fantastic.
incredible,
Yeah.
incredible!" So we did like a
Little
we didn't do
impromptu
little
kind of-
impromptu little kind of
impromptu
thing.
kind of tasting
Yeah,
where
we might insert that actually. We might
That'd be
insert
a
that
nice
into
little
here.
short.
So yeah, let's do that. So we'll play it. We'll play it right now.
No, people don't like most study art of stone.
Ooh, beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that. Here, let's see real quick. So, Amador whiskey. So you said it's California.
Well, it's the company.
Company's California, but it's in Kentucky. But it's in Cabernet barrels. Beautiful cherry finish. Very rich, very deep. Cherry and hot chocolate. Right off the bat, it just full flavor, full body, right off. You're very good. That was incredible.
They're just kind of
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it. Okay, we have to get. Oh yeah. Thank you so. Oh yeah, so it's corn, rye, and barley. 25%, 90 proof. So it actually hits a little bit more than that, but it's smooth all the way through.
I didn't get the ethanol.
I did right off the bat.
It didn't seem that ethanol.
It might be the mead too, though. There you go. Pretty mead all day.
Yeah, there you go.
That's amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for shopping.
Well, absolutely. What was your name?
James.
James. Andrew.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, James. Pleasure to meet you.
So then, yeah,
And we're back.
And we're back. So yeah, it was super, super interesting, super complex, but like, it was perfect for the situation, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a little bit heavy for how hot it was outside, but it was beautiful.
See, I found it. Had it been a little cooler outside, I think it would have been perfect.
Yeah, agreed. But it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
fantastic. It was
amazing.
fantastic.
Super, super
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I love
Yeah.
that. I love those.
Yeah.
I think so. What's your favorite out of all these? Which one's your favorite?
Oh, see, but here's the thing.
It's hard, right?
Because
I have a favorite.
it's situational for me.
Okay,
If it's
that's fair.
all right, because like if it's if I'm sitting outside and I've got a cigar in hand and it's cold,
Okay.
I'm going single barrel.
Yeah. Yeah, that pepper on there for cold nights.
Yeah,
perfect.
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm going to go with, it's a summer day and I'm just wanting to kind of just sit and chill, and then I'm going with being in bourbon. Garrison Brothers is nice. That is a social. We're all sitting at the bar.
Yeah.
Got some music playing in the background. We're hanging out, and we're having a good night.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with.
I think I would like this more with a cigar than this one.
But see, I would also pair that one with a cigar as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Baby Blue is just, it's always been
super complex. I feel like we could talk about this for hours and break it apart.
You could. You absolutely could.
It's super complex.
Yeah. So, I mean, bourbon is to me, bourbon is, it's a situational spirit. I mean, you could pair a specific moment or time of year with a great bourbon. So, I mean, it's hard to pick.
Yeah.
Out of these four, it's hard to pick which one I'd be like,
They're
this one
also
hands
good.
down done me.
Yeah. I can.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just because it's limited to the situation we're in right now, but it's definitely this. Like, I feel like we could do, like, being at the bar doing what we do. Like,
Right.
I think this one and the Baby Blue, I think, are probably my favorites. I really would like to have this with a cigar. This and that. Oh, we didn't tell her about that Frank Sinatra blend.
He loves talking about this
that
bottle.
the
It's
Jack
so
Daniels,
good.
or-
It's so good.
Yeah.
The Frank Sinatra.
Have you had it?
I've heard of it. I've never had it.
It's
Would you
so
like to try
good.
some?
Maybe like the tiny,
Yeah, of
tiny a little tiddly.
It's so good. It's definitely one of my favorites.
So I think if I'm gonna go with a fair, I've always been partial to single barrel whiskey. I like one barrel,
Yeah.
one distiller, and I love
just use one
how
of those.
dark
Oh, we
and
got
rich
another
it
one.
is.
Yeah, I'm not mixing.
Yeah, no, I
And I'm
forgot.
not
yeah.
just saying that because I'm a little biased, from touring the distillery and having such a great
Yeah,
time.
that's fair.
I think that Garrison is
Garrison,
good.
yeah.
For Bingham's, I like what he said about when it's a little warmer outside. I love that if we were to do some kind of Texas julep or something like that. I
yeah.
think that would make a beautiful cocktail.
Yeah,
being
I agree.
as lighted as it
I
is.
agree, yeah.
The Whitmeyers, again, I agree with him on cold weather. I think anything that's more heated or more peated should be drank with cold weather.
Okay, yeah. That's a really good point. I like that. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about cigars. Like, I get cigar tobacco.
Yeah.
This
Off
is
of
what
that,
this
too.
is what we're talking. This is going to be our first when we do the Wicked Bear cast, or what do we call it? Wicked Bear Lounge. We do for our first episode at the Wicked Bear Lounge. We'll do with the cigar. We're going to do it with this one.
Yeah, this smells like a cigar that's been lit and put out, but not quite all the way finished smoldering.
Right.
I love that smell to it. It smells like I would be in a lounge. I get the little bit of the cream on it to the end, and then Jack Daniels, sometimes they always have a little bit of sour to their mash, and it's also the water they use over there that makes a huge difference in their whiskey that I think
their
is
mountain,
great. But
Mountain River water. Yeah.
it's almost got that sweet and tangy cream with tobacco.
Tobacco. Yeah.
But there's another thing I'm getting, and it comes on the tip of my tongue when I smell it with my mouth open, and I can't put my finger on it right now. But
Can't put your tongue on it.
yeah, exactly.
Hey.
It's really good though. I love just smelling it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I was thoroughly impressed that was a Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
That's got such a great finish though.
Yes.
That's got I've got a mouthful of smoke. I love that. I absolutely love the way that feels, and I'm still salivating from it. Oh, it's good, and it's got that right amount of leather. That's a good Tennessee whiskey. That's really good, but I love the amount of smoke and vanilla I got off of that.
Yes.
So I wouldn't even say vanilla. I would almost say maybe the tip on my tongue was like a sweet buttered popcorn.
Okay.
Almost.
Yeah. I got a little bit of a cream soda.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good whiskey.
Fantastic. I loved
Yeah,
it.
it's actually one of the flavor profile notes is banana.
Yeah, banana
and
or banana bread, right?
hate
Was it banana or banana
Banana bread.
Yeah.
Banana nut bread. I hate banana. And amazingly enough, I really enjoyed that. So
That's almost like a little Matt Damon. It's all my little whiskeys mixed together.
Yeah, whatever. At the end of the night, whatever.
Yeah.
It all comes together.
I love how that drink always has a different name.
No, Matt Damon.
Yeah, that Matt Damon, Cowboy Killer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's my birthday. Can I get a free shot?
Sure can.
Oh my god.
Actually, at the pub, so we couldn't sell it because it's not distributed in Texas, but we could give it away for free. And
Oh, okay.
we had some friends from that would go back and forth to Chicago to visit their family, and they always brought back extra bottles of Malort.
I don't know what that is.
Oh,
She's so excited about this.
why am I so excited for you to try this? I wish I had it. Malort is when people would belly up to the bar and they'd be like, "Oh, it's my birthday. What can I get for free?" I'd be like, "Oh." And I would just pour them a shot of Malort, and it's the flavor profile of Malort.
Oh, it's god awful. That's what it is.
Oh, really?
Vanilla, herb, citrus, and discarded liposuction fat.
What? What?
It quite literally
It's-
tastes like ass.
It's horrible. I actually highly recommend
So
you.
funny.
If you get a chance.
I
to
don't
go-
want any part. You're really selling it, Kristi. They
No,
appreciate it. I don't want any part of this.
If you get a chance, go YouTube the Jepson's Malort commercial, and it's just a gentleman behind the bar having to taste the product because it's his
sounds
great grandfather's
terrible.
Swedish liqueur.
Oh my god.
That sounds terrible.
The ads about it in Chicago are very, very honest about the spirit in particular. It says the bottom line, it says, "Malort, tonight's a good night to finally fight your father."
Jeez.
It's paired with like a certain beer, and it's called I think it's called a Chicago handshake,
Hey,
where you take the shot of the Malort and you drink. I forget what the name of what the beer is, but it's god awful.
You guys are selling
It is-
it. You're really selling
Dude,
it.
it's right up there. The Malort is probably right up there with Fernet.
see, I like Fernet.
Oh, Fernet
I
is
love
awful.
Fernet. Fernet does its
so
job.
bad.
Fernet is a good digestive.
It does its job,
Yeah,
especially
it's
when you're trying to hide the fact that you can't be drinking behind the bar, and you pour it with a Coke and you're just sipping on it all night.
Oh, I love a good Fernet. If you have a good steak dinner, you finish off the night with a Fernet, you're going to digest that so much easier.
What is it?
It's an Amaro, essentially. It's a very, very, very herbal. Amaros are very, very underrated because they have such a strong bitter flavor, but they're meant to be bitter. They're meant to make your stomach turn sour so to aid in digestion.
Yeah.
And it does.
It does. There's one. I'll never forget the first time I saw this spirit. It's
ahead.
one of the most mispronounced spirits, I think, behind the bar, and it's pronounced Cynar. How would you pronounce that?
Cynar?
Yeah.
Sinar?
Sinner.
It's pronounced Chinar.
Chinar?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is an artichoke Amaro.
Fuck no. I want no part of that. That
it's-
sounds terrible.
It's listed in there as one
How
of
the hell do you even come up with that?
Europe. They do things.
Freaking European.
It's been around for a long time.
I bet.
Yeah, I like vermouth.
It's the same
and I like
bottle. It's been around for a long time. Don't listen, drink it.
It's one cask.
I
That's
love
it.
like that bottle of Galliano that sat behind our bars forever until Hurricane Harvey hit us, and then Harvey Wallbangers became.
Oh,
You'll leave it to the city of Houston and be like, here's a good time to move the baseball bat. That's what it is. Got this very, very long neck with a wide bottom, and the Galliano is your bar weapon. You take it out and you just. What do you mean you don't want to tip?
That sounds awful. Jeez, that's gross.
Yeah, they're just some.
What do you use that for?
You sip it.
No! God, no.
It's a digestive.
Well, boy, hell, I gotta digest.
We
these
have
down
a
here that we need
digest
to
deep
try.
down here that sounds far more.
Limoncello.
It's a lim-
Limoncello is an aperitif.
Aperitif.
Yeah,
yeah.
you drink it before dinner.
Yeah. So I have a question, huh?
Straight from Corfu, Greece.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
Yeah, we did
So,
try that already.
I know, we keep talking about it. So I've always been curious about schnapps. So what is the intended purpose of schnapps?
Drink straight.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
just to get fucked up? Like that was it?
Or
Usually
are you referring to Rumble Mints in particular, the 100 proof peppermint schnapps?
So bad.
Yeah,
it's awful. Like why?
It's a
why?
great way
it's
to
a great-
time travel. Though.
It is a great way to forget what happened the night before.
It is valid. That's true.
It's a good childhood trauma eraser.
God, dude.
How would you like to forget the past 5 years of your life?
100%.
While
I smell it.
freshening your breath.
Yeah, Yeah, right. God, I smell
How's my breath,
it.
Brad? I need a shot of Rumble Mets.
I smell it, and food immediately comes up.
Oh,
Like,
that's
bad.
me and Jaeger.
Oh,
I've got a nasty story about Jaeger. I can't smell Jaeger.
I can't
drink Jaeger.
One party. It was one instance.
I think there's a bottle of Jaeger.
And I
Nope, it can stay there.
cannot do Jaeger.
Yeah,
I
I had a bad night when I for some ungodly reason I was like, hey, let's do Jägermeister and Budweiser.
oh God.
Oh yeah, that was
bad.
And what's bad is the next day, I actually stayed at a buddy's house. We drank Jaeger and Budweiser all night, and that somewhere between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. were
Disappeared.
Oh no! Oh, I was very much awake for it. Just not the way I wanted to be.
Yeah, right.
Because
Dude,
at 6 a.m. I had to be at San Antonio. In San Antonio, it's called the Folklife Festival. So it's like basically a huge venue where there's a bunch of different booths from a bunch of different cultures, and we were working in the summertime, delivering water to these booths. You sober up real quick.
I bet. And dehydrate.
Oh, so much so.
Good Lord.
Well, luckily I was working for a water company at the time, so.
Oh right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
God, man. I had similar experience with Jaeger. It was one of those situations where it was all we had. And we're like, well, okay, like we're having a good time. Well, this is what we got. This is what we're gonna do. Bad. Next 2 days, bad. Oh, it messed me up so bad. It's same kind of thing. I smell Jaeger now, and I'm like, it immediately comes back up. It gets right here. Ugh.
I know a guy. He pretty much, when we talk about regulars that keep the place going, this guy might as well have been a partner.
Oh,
He
really?
spent so much time in the pub. All he drank was Jaeger. And sometimes he'd have a
shots of
vodka and
Jaeger?
soda, or he'd have Coors Light. And he would do 9 of them, and he wouldn't even sway. His eyes wouldn't even glaze over.
That's a bad dude.
Sometimes I'd look at him and be like, what is your stomach made of? Because
Iron.
It's iron. Yeah. He would just...
He doesn't have a stomach.
Yeah,
He would be like,
corroded iron.
Yes,
And
it's all Jaegered out.
He always ordered it the same way. He's like, can I get a little one?
A little one?
He's a filthy Giants fan, so I'd be like, yeah, you got a little one.
Oh, one, nice.
Yeah.
2, oh god.
God, dude.
All right, and then there was another guy. He used to come in some nights. He'd be like, can I get a double rumple? I'd be like, you okay?
What? Who hurt you?
Yeah. I
Show me on the doll. Who hurt you?
Where did they touch you?
Oh my
I always
god.
have every bartender has different drinks and shots that we judge you for.
Okay.
Immediately. We do it silently.
Yeah.
but I
Well,
judge
not
you.
all of them. Not all bartenders do it
Yeah.
silently.
Well, it's true.
You come in and order a top shelf Long Island. I'm like, I could put turpentine in here and you wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah,
So you
right.
just-
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, it's right
I
up
actually
there.
like a good Long Island, when it's prepared correctly. I mean, that's good. I
Fresh
like
citrus makes a good Long Island, but it's still
it's never something I would order,
you're
but
not.
I enjoy
You're not
it.
drinking a Long Island for the taste. You're drinking a Long Island because you're on a mission.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
You're on a mission to forget
Yeah.
again that childhood
Yeah,
trauma.
it's gonna be a short night.
I
Yeah.
managed to back in the day when I was 19. Bars had a different way of checking your age or not. They would check your ID. I don't know if you remember Hurricane Hut on Richmond and Fountain View. There used to be one on Kirkendall in 1960, and there was one on Richmond Fountain View, and there was one in Clear Lake. We called it Slut Hut. And we would go to the one on Richmond and Fountain View because they didn't do the wristbands. They still did the markers. So they would put an X on your hand and permanent marker if you were under 21.
Yeah.
And when you're 19 and all your friends are 21, you figure out ways to drink real quick.
Yeah.
So black permanent marker comes off almost immediately under chapstick.
Yeah.
Regular
yeah,
old
yeah.
gas station chapstick and a little lemon on there
Yeah.
comes right off.
Yeah.
And I would drink Long Islands underage because everyone is the only cocktail I knew
Yeah.
at the time before I started. This is before I started bartending. This is when I was still a server at Red Lobster in Humble, Texas.
Oh yeah.
My
Wow.
first job ever.
Nice.
Worst place.
Red Lobster.
Red Lobster in Humble.
Those biscuits.
Those biscuits. We ate so many. If you knew what went into those biscuits, you
I
wouldn't eat
don't
them.
want to know. I'll eat them. I don't want to know what's on
But
them.
I was drinking Long Islands, and
Literally
let's
don't
just
know
say
how the sausage are made.
my roommate at the time had to drive my car back, and I had to make her get off the freeway 3 times so I could lean out the window and puke.
Ooh.
But you're 19 though. You wake up
Yeah.
all sprightly the next morning.
Oh, yeah.
Like it never happened.
Yeah, like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, I just
man.
it's and that was so funny. At Ren Fair, it had been so long since I'd had a hangover headache.
No.
Yeah,
You don't
because
say.
it's been I'm like, again, like, my life's in the gym, right? I don't really drink.
I was going to say, yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, I had a lot of mead.
I know you did.
Too much. But it just kind of happened. But still, like, the headache, I was like going around, I looked at him, I was like, oh, fucked up. And he's like, you don't say.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like,
yeah, bro.
You can tell? And they're like, and my wife was like, yes. I'm sorry.
Actually, we're like, you can tell?
Yeah, I felt like an idiot 19-year-old. I'm like sitting there, like when you walked off to go get the little like cheese thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sitting at this table. I'm like,
oh yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh god, we gotta hurry this up. I need to get food in
Is it
now.
kind of drunk where you wish you weren't drunk anymore?
it was like, but then it was like an hour later. I'm like, man, I'm sober. Fuck.
Yeah, he was like, man, I'm sober now. I'm like, that's a good thing, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta go home.
Yeah, the mead was so good, man. The mead was flowing. It was good. I wouldn't mind like finding some good. I really like mead. Like if I could find like a good meadery around here, would be really cool.
Probably check out the one that's downtown.
I'd like to. I'd like to. We go check it out one day, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
It's so sweet. It's too sweet for me.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, it's fermented honey, but
Yeah, I like the berry infused ones are really good. Like, but I don't know. I like mead.
Everybody's got their thing.
Yeah, well, I like whiskey too. I don't know. It's
Bring you over to the dark side.
yeah. I'm bro. I'm here. I'm with you. I'm here with you. That's good. Cool. Well, that's all I got.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
No.
You got anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm just excited for you guys to come check out the pub.
I'm super excited.
Wait to come to the pub.
really had to do that.
When's the pub opening? Do you have a date yet?
The date is very soon. I don't have an exact date yet, but I would like for you guys to come and have a dinner there, and then we have a private dart room.
Oh,
that I'd
cool,
like for us to hang out in, and I would like to change or not so much sway you to the other side, but
The
see if I
Scotch
could
side?
just find some scotch that
Bring
you
us
might
over to the
like.
Highlands? Yeah.
The Highland side. you
Yeah,
know?
man. No, we're down.
Done.
We're
Done and done.
Yeah.
We could have the
absolutely.
Highlander playing on in the background.
One thing I am curious.
Yes. Please.
100%.
We're showing up in kilts.
There
can be only
one.
We're showing up in kilts.
There you go.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So another thing I would like to try as well is, and him and I have talked about this. I've never been a tequila person.
Oh.
And I think it's because I've only had trash. I don't think I've had good tequila. So I want to kind of go through a tequila experience as well.
Yeah, there's good sipping and there's some people that there's that myth that tequila gets you drunk faster.
It's just a spirit that
And there's
whatever.
a very
That's stupid.
well-known TV personality who tried to claim that tequila has mescaline in it and that gets you drunk faster, and that's absolutely inaccurate. There's not.
I don't know how that
mescaline-
would even be.
Mescaline comes from a cactus. And
Yeah,
tequila comes from
mescaline
the
is
agave.
super strong drug.
Yeah, so
and
that's-
will, like,
If you've ever read
very
that's
strong
not true. And tequila's not.
psychotropic.
Most
yeah.
of them are not any stronger than most of the whiskeys or vodka. Yeah, most of them are 80 proof.
Yeah.
It's that y'all are drinking tequila in shots.
Yeah,
You're pounding them down.
Same thing would happen if you're doing the same with whiskey.
Yeah.
It's just a bad time. Don't do that.
But there's some tequilas that are.
Like a sip. Like
They're
you were
aged
saying.
in American whiskey barrels. Some of them are aged in Speyside Scotch barrels. Some of them are aged in sherry casks.
See, I don't know. I would love to go through a tequila experience.
Yeah, we could do a tequila, mezcal, and sotol.
That'd be. I do like mezcal.
mezcal.
I've had some good mezcal.
I love. Yeah, because you love smoking Pete.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say,
there you
mezcal's super smoky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why is that? Why is it in like peat barrels or the Scotch barrels? I mean.
Some of them can be. It's a different distillation process.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But they all come from Mexico. And if they don't, then they're not what that is.
Yeah,
All tequila comes from Mexico.
Yeah. I would love to go through that. Yeah, we can absolutely show up in kilts. We'll do a Scotch and tequila kind of thing. I guess for tequilas, we'll keep our kilts on. We'll just put on some sombreros or something.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You got beards already, so you don't need the mustache.
We would still do the fake one.
Yeah.
Just it's gotta complete the look.
Well, the
I see. I could put the fake
Solid
one on.
black.
It's just solid black. Like, well,
It's so funny.
that's not offensive.
No, it's fine. Whatever.
The crazy
No, we're
thing about that is that Wesley Cordova, who was a partner at both pubs, my roommate actually, Wesley is Scottish and Mexican.
good. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and a lot of the
quite
food is
unusual.
influenced.
Actually, so am I. So
Yeah, a
You
lot
are
of the,
Scottish and Mexican? Dude, you're all over the place.
I told you, dude.
You're a high
my
pizza.
ancestry reads like the ingredients label of a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like 31 different flavors.
Yeah.
Just Baskin Robbins.
I've got 3 flavors, and they're all
They're all vanilla.
they're all,
They're all white.
they're different kinds of vanilla.
They're all white.
Vanilla bean, French vanilla.
Yeah, that's so funny.
I mean, I don't know if you can
Vanilla
tell
protein.
the excessive paleness of me, but we're Italian, German, and Scottish.
I was gonna say definitely German, but I was gonna say Irish. Over
No,
Scottish.
there's Scottish in there. My dad is Italian and Dutch, and he's
There you
got
go.
jet black hair and dark eyes just like you. But
Yeah.
this is not my real hair color.
Yeah.
I just look like everyone on my mom's side of the family now. But
Yeah, I'm heavily Welsh,
I'm Welsh.
Dutch, and gosh, can't think of it. Sweden, Swedish.
Welsh. Here we go. Welsh, Irish, Scottish, Spanish, Indigenous American.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But through Mexico.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And East or West Germanic.
Yeah. Well, you're Scottish.
Heinz 57.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you look at my ancestry DNA track and it's just like something's broken.
Or something.
There's a whole lot of
something's very right.
there's a whole lot of pigmentation that you should have that you don't.
Whatever.
So it's just like
We know it took over.
But if you look at my mom's side of the family, everybody on my mom's side, olive skin, black hair.
Oh,
it's
really?
just like,
Whatever.
you sure you're not the milkman's kid? So yeah. What do you do?
That's so funny.
What do you do?
Okay, so we don't have a date yet for Blue Line. Pew, come back.
Coming soon.
So coming soon for sure.
By
Yep.
the time this comes out, we may have already gone.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So we talk about it all the time. We make our episodes, so this will be probably a month from now.
I would say less than that.
Oh,
Oh,
you think
beautiful.
you can get less than that? Okay.
Yeah, the opening?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be less than that.
Yeah.
I just don't have an exact date.
Yeah, no, that's
perfect.
fine.
Yeah,
So,
perfect.
so whenever we film again, it'll be a month from then. So
No,
then
right, right.
so then we'll talk about it then. That you'll already be open and all that kind of stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much
Yes,
for coming
thank you
on.
for the
Having me, I had a
education
great
and-
time.
Yeah, it's good, right?
you.
It's cathartic, and there's a lot to talk about, and there's like it's just kind of open. It's the same thing. Going to the bar and talking to a bartender, and
Yeah.
you're just kind of solving your world's problems on your own time. That's kind of what we're all about.
Short of having the game on the TV and calling them pieces of shit for not doing the thing we want them to do.
Yeah, right. So we had a one of our previous guests, Jeff. So we had Jeff on, our first guest actually that we had on, and the joke at the very beginning is he's never seen The Notebook. And he was like, put it on. He was like, the greatest movie of all time. And he loves The Notebook. So he was like, put it on in the background. So
It's just the tower of a man going, let's watch The Notebook. I'm like, what?
I've actually never
No.
seen it.
yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Maybe we'll play it at the bar when we,
God.
we come in there. Ryan Gosling, he's a good time.
Yeah, I want to
Wait.
say drunk and happy, not drunk and sad.
Yeah, we'll put on Smokey and the Bandit. We're not
Oh,
gonna
that's
put on
fun.
The
Yeah.
Notebook.
I mean,
Yeah,
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Braveheart,
Turtles, man.
Ninja Turtles, there you go.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
you go.
Braveheart. Yeah,
Braveheart, yeah.
Braveheart, even better.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
So we can all yell out freedom at the same
Yeah.
time.
Freedom!
Braveheart, what's the other one?
Patriot Act.
Highlander, and then the Disney one with Merida. The
Oh, Brave.
Brave.
Brave,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
That'd be good.
that's good. Yeah.
I like it.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for coming by.
Appreciate you coming by the bar.
Appreciate you coming by the bar. And thank you again, Kristi, for
Thank you
coming
for
by.
having me.
And
Yeah.
can't wait to see you again whenever we're actually there. That's going to be a
Yeah, that's
blast.
gonna be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
I can't wait.
Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good day.
Have a good one.